Do not mistake my silence for lack of grief. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is the all-new, the real Modern Escapism. Hello and welcome to Modern Escapism. My name is the artist formerly known as Oodles, and today I'm joined by Biggie, the Sands of Time.
Hello.
Also, Gadget 3D.
Hello.
And last but by no means least, Stig, the Revolution.
Hello.
How are you doing, boys?
Good, thank you.
Marvellous.
Very good. Yep. Happy to be here, as always.
Fantastic.
You really sell it there, Stig.
I am always happy to be here.
It's outpouring there.
It's radiance.
Pure. And speaking of radiance, we will jump straight to Stig and ask what he has been up to. Talk to me, boy.
Okay, so this week I am going to talk about a podcast I've discovered.
What?
Yeah, I've discovered this because of one of the hashtags that we use on our social medias. You might have seen it if you're on Twitter, is hashtag Pod and Family, and this is kind of like a way of other podcasts being linked to each other, and you can, retweeting each other, and we'll get automatic retweets, to try and push our podcast out to other people. And through that hashtag, I noticed one called the Amazing Nerd Show podcast. And their sign, their logo is like a take on the Star Wars logo, and I had a quick look at it. I am a nerd myself. Nerd! And they talk about movies, TVs, comics, and wrestling, and the like. And I was like, well, this is, bang up my street. Like,
They're fucking copying us.
Like it was made for you, Steve.
yes. I mean, I would say that, Oodles, if they hadn't come around about 4 years ago.
Still, they might have gone forward in time, and yeah.
But yeah, it's hosted by two guys, Christian and Damon, and they just talk about nerd shit loads, and it's great. Each week they do a little roundup of the news and the rumours flying around the internet, like they'll talk about casting rumours or like confirmed casting of films, upcoming films, upcoming games, things like that. Then they'll do a review section if they've been watching something. So they've been doing reviews on WandaVision. It's very spoiler heavy, so they do actually timestamp everything as well. So if you don't want to know, you can kind of skip past that. Okay. But they go into like detailed things. Obviously, this week they've been discussing the Justice League. They do, and then they finish off as well with a week of wrestling. This week in wrestling, so they talk about what's been going on in the world of wrestling. So
is it a UK based one or American?
No, it's American.
Okay.
American guys, yeah. So, it's just I've just been really enjoying it. Just listening to them talk about stuff that I'm really into, and I think it's definitely worth listening. If you like the kind of stuff that we talk about, then you'll like the stuff that they talk about. They also have this like kind of cool synth music playing in the background throughout.
Oh, like a bed.
It's like a really it's not anything I've ever heard on a podcast before. Like, there's the intro. And then each section just has like this track playing in the background. It's not distracting at all and kind of adds to it all, but it's kind of a really different take on how to do a podcast. And I thought it was quite cool.
He's trying to give Gadget extra work now, isn't he?
I can tell that. That's...
No, you don't have to worry about it.
You're absolutely slacking, mate. Come on.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about putting it into hours, but
we don't need to fill the empty silences.
No, but yeah,
he's not worried.
That's other than the Justice League film, which we will talk about another time.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what I've been doing this week. That's what I've discovered this week is this new podcast. So the Amazing Nerd Show. It's worth checking out.
We will. I'm sure we will. Biggie, what you been doing, pal?
So thanks to Stiggy, I watched Three Identical Strangers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was Yeah, very good choice. Really enjoyed that. That is one messed up story.
It is.
Isn't it?
Quite rightly, like Stig says, you need to go in and see for yourself. So I won't talk too much more about that. But considering it was his recommendation, I'm glad I took that up because it was awesome.
He's not bad at that, is he? Recommendations. He's all right.
He said he knows the odd good film here.
He does, doesn't he?
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, he's just recommended another podcast that's very similar to ours.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
a bit
push our
shitty.
listeners away.
No. There's plenty there that's different. They don't have a banging weekly
We can sacrifice a few million.
feature like we do.
But the main thing I wanted to talk about was something that I discovered on Netflix, which a few people have talked about. It's a series called Behind Her Eyes. I don't know if anyone knows anything about this.
Isn't that the Who song?
Nope. Oh, it's Behind Blue Eyes.
Oh, that's what I thought he said.
He said Behind Her Eyes.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
I've not heard of this. What is it?
Open your locals.
So, just a very, very brief synopsis. It features a young divorced mum, played by Simona Brown, who has a 6-year-old boy. She goes out for an evening with her friend while the boy's been looked after by a babysitter. And unfortunately, the friend cancels last minute. She ends up bumping into a handsome man, played by, not me, Tom Bateman. And they end up having a few drinks, etc. The next day, she discovers that the same guy is now her new boss at the therapy clinic where she works. And also discovers he's married.
Oh,
I hate when that happens.
Every day, mate. And an affair begins, but to complicate matters, she also becomes friends with the wife, played by Eve Hewson.
oh
Who,
my God.
I was trying to work out where I'd seen her before, and it turns out I hadn't seen her anywhere before, but she is the daughter of Bono, bizarrely, from U2. But she's really good in this. And via a chance encounter, they, because they moved into the area, they become very good friends, and she doesn't know anyone at all. All of a sudden, everybody has secrets, and then a darker side begins to unravel, such as that the husband controls his wife via meds and phones her at home to ensure that she's there at all times. Now, you find this out quite early on, so that's not really a spoiler. But what happens after that, I will not go into, because I think everybody needs to find out for themselves. But I kind of enjoyed it. It kind of comes across as like a cliche drama, but then when it starts to take the darker tone, and it keeps you wanting to know more of what's happening because it won't quite reveal, and you think it's going down a really obvious route, and then it does twist and turn here and there. So my wife and I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll check that one out.
Is that a film or a TV show?
So it's a TV series. It's
series.
basically, I think, 6 episodes.
Okay.
Oh, I like a shorter series, me. More into that. Excellent, yeah. Check that out.
Kind of reminds me from the sound of it. What was that Sky Atlantic show a few years ago? The Affair.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that one. But there is...
Nicole
quite a
Kidman,
twist
wasn't
at
it?
the end, is all I will say. So
Yeah.
be prepared
Was it
for
Nicole
that.
Kidman? I don't think it was Nicole Kidman. Someone else. but
Someone
yeah.
like that.
The only cast member in that I can remember is the guy from Fringe.
Oh, I'm thinking of a more recent one with Nicole Kidman and hello from Love Actually. What's his name? Hello, oh hello.
Hugh Grant.
That's the guy.
God, yeah.
That's the guy. Hello.
I saw that series
Oh,
as
I'm
well.
always tripping up. Oh, hello. That guy.
With his foppiness.
Yeah, him.
I forgot the name of that show. Yeah, we watched that as well.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Anyway, we're not talking about that.
Nope.
No.
Gadget, what you been doing?
I have been, aside from many things, watching Justice League, practicing character voices for something special.
Yeah, you've been busy.
I've been playing a game called Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Which is on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, that's what I saw it.
Yeah, I had it on PC a while ago on Steam, and it ran like dog shit on my PC, so I refunded it. And when I saw it popped up on the Xbox Series X, I was like, fuck yeah, I'll give that a shot. It's just D&D. It's just D&D.
Really?
That's literally what it is. And in fact, the voice cast of it is all of Critical Role.
Oh,
They're all
right.
in there. But it's essentially, it follows on from the first Pillars of Eternity. You play in the world of Aeoras, something like that. Basically, the run of the story is there's a giant god that's stomping around the world, pissing everybody off, and you're charged with stopping him.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unlike a lot of kind of Western fantasy RPGs, an isometric RPG. So, like, gameplay-wise, think of stuff like Baldur's Gate, and you're in the kind of the milieu of this game. But unlike a lot of Western RPGs, it doesn't have a European aesthetic.
Oh.
You play the game in the Deadfire archipelago in this world, and it's very Afro-Caribbean, West Indies, Cuba, that kind of thing.
Nice.
It's an archipelago of islands. Each island has some shit to do on it. You get to boat. You get to boat about.
Is there a volcano?
There is a volcano.
Yes, love a volcano.
But you've got your little ship called the Defiant. I assume you get bigger ships as you go on. You get to do a bit of ship-to-ship combat. You can board people, or they can board you.
Wow.
You can knock the shit out of things with fireballs. Fireballs are the answer to everything in this game. You know.
They are in Divinity as well, aren't they?
Yeah. Big enemy, fireballs. Giant enemy, fireballs. Fire-resistant enemy, fireballs and swearing. That's how it works. That's how the run of the gameplay works. But unlike Pillars of Eternity 1, you can play the combat turn-based, which I like. Because in Pillars of Eternity 1, it was in kind of real time, but you paused it. So you would pause the action, queue up a few commands, then let the action run, and it would kind of happen in semi-real time. This one, like Divinity, you get proper turn-based combat, and it works really well. It's brutally difficult. The game is quite fond of throwing you against a boss that you have no chance of defeating. So save scumming is definitely a thing. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 16 hours into it, which means I'm probably about 1% of the way through. These are massive games. I'm currently exploring a city which is separated into 5 zones. 5 zones? Yeah, 5 zones, all with kind of different biomes within the city itself. And you go right the way to the top of the mountain, and you've got the kind of the palace where the queen lives. You go down a level, then you've got the kind of the temples where shit's kicking off. And then you can go all the way down to kind of a place that reminds me of the gutter from Dark Souls 2. Where all the undesirables go.
Yeah.
Which has a sub-level that I'm not brave enough to go down to yet, because apparently it fucks you up.
There'll be a Sarlacc or something in there.
Is this game co-op? Can I read somewhere it's co-op? Is there a co-op?
I think you can. Yeah, you can play it online. Yeah.
Wow.
But no, it's really good. It's really involved. And it is proper role-playing. Like, you start with a character who is kind of supposed to follow on from the character in the previous game, but you build them up as you want. I've had cutscenes where I've told a god to fuck off.
Good.
Nice.
Because you can speak to gods in this one, and the gods will frequently bicker in front of you, like a married couple, which is hysterical. But the overall presentation of the game is wonderful. The graphics are lovely. The music is wonderful. The voice... The only thing I don't like about the voice acting, and bear in mind I like the voice actors, is that every time you select a character, they give like a little line of flavour dialogue. There's not enough of those lines.
No.
Ready, willing, and able.
Baldur's Gate was like that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, well, it's the same principle. So like Adair, who's voiced by Matthew Mercer, every time you kind of go in, tell him to go whack at something, and he just recites the same voice line. Which I'll
Ready
cut
and
in.
willing. Ready and willing.
Oh no, it's something
engaging.
Something really high fantasy. Is like, may I be on the wings of eternity or something like that. It's like something really high level like that. But
I'll fly like a Valkyrie.
yeah, it's a great game that's going to keep me
You
going
have my
for quite a
sword,
while.
and my axe, and my shield, and my boots, and my gauntlets.
And
Don't tell the elf.
Isn't there any way to turn those little vocals off?
If there is, I haven't found it yet. But to be fair, I haven't looked for it.
Fair play. Excellent.
Well, you know what we're going to be doing for our D&D, don't you?
Yeah. And
How much can we annoy Gadget with the same response?
you say it's on Game Pass, yeah?
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. It just came to PC Game Pass as well.
Oh, nice. I might
So
check that out.
Yeah, it's on both. But the dialogue's good, and like I say, you can role play properly.
I do love a good RPG.
Just one last example of that one. I had to negotiate to get a family onto a ship off the island, and the berths were taken up by a business-minded dwarf who had OCD.
Oh God!
And I allowed my character to play the guy's OCD off so that he would give up his berths because if he didn't give up his place on the ship, you would have to split up the family and it wouldn't be an even number. So when I explained that to him, he says, "Nope, this will not do. We will find another ship." And I walked off. And there was part of me that felt a bit terrible doing that. But
it's
it was
pure
just like,
though. That's good.
Yeah, It's like proper role playing. You can be as bastard as you want.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Well, I've been playing a computer game as well. In between watching Justice League 3 times, I'll add.
Psychopath.
Bloody hell.
For work as well as pleasure. I've been playing a game that wouldn't be considered as nerdy, but secretly is probably nerdier than Deadfire. It probably is a little bit nerdy. It's called The Division 2.
Yes, mate.
Now, people that know me know I'm not a big shooter guy. Monster Energy, man. I'm not really that guy.
But you are a big RPG
I don't
guy.
get where you think that every shooter is just Gears 3 massive
Monster
muscles
Energy, man.
like
What's your kill-death ratio, baby?
Ready and willing.
That's it. Semper Fi, motherfucker.
I mean, you were talking up Remnant from the Ashes as if it was a Dark Souls thing. It's a shooter with swords.
Shooter with swords, man. Sorry.
Got no closer Dark Souls in it.
True. So yeah, the Division 2. Basically, I watched just this a YouTube video popped up at the beginning of the end of last week, saying games you don't realise can be really good single player games that actually are, and this is number one. Because the Division 1 is very difficult on your own. It's designed for a group.
Yeah, it is, but I really enjoyed it. I have to say, I love
I
playing
played
that
the
on
Division 1 with some pals, and I was the guy that was letting the side down, and I started noticing they played it less. Oh, in fact, they were online a lot less, until I realised that I just weren't invited anymore. And they was hiding from me.
and then became the Divided.
Yeah, definitely. So I thought, you know what? I think it was £7 or something. I got it on Xbox, and it'd been enhanced very recently. So I thought, why not? Started playing this, and like immediately I was like, oh, I like these controls. Oh, third person, yeah. And I was playing it for about 2-3 hours, and then something happened. I just discovered the fashion.
Oh no.
Oh, the fashion in this game. For those of you that don't know, it's a third-person military-style shooter with quite a political edge, but it's more satirical than realistic. It's a game that doesn't mind poking fun at itself, and the fashion in it is some of the best in gaming. Like, you'll back me up on this, won't you, Biggie? This is like the clothes you can get on this, and I spent hours looting and
it becomes this weird collectathon, and you think, I haven't come across a bandana for ages.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird.
So you're
weird
rooting
thing
around
to
in
get involved
bins looking for a bandana. It's so good. So it's based in a post pandemic, but like a very aggressive pandemic, Washington DC. So society has just completely collapsed. There's rebels called the Hyenas that are just not listening to the new division, the new government. Like, it's not barely even a government, it's just some nicer people trying to restore society. These Hyenas are just fucking shit up, as they're willing to do.
Are you playing a game or watching the news?
Bit of both. And you're part of the division, which is something that you signed up to, like a special forces team that you signed up to before the world went to shit, and they have these special watches that go off when crisis is happening, and you've just got to drop everything. Like, on some of the cinematics are really sad. Like, one guy will be playing with his kids and his wife, and his watch goes off, and he just has to fucking leave them to save the world. It's quite harrowing, some of it, a lot of the cinematics on it, because basically once you start, there's no real story anymore. You've got to discover it, a bit like Dark Souls, but not as obtuse. Like, you will pick up video files that you watch, and it's got some more flavour to it. But it's just, I like third-person shooters. I don't like first-person shooters as much because I've got terrible hand-eye coordination. But this, especially as the sequel, the one that I'm talking about, explains fully which loadouts to use if you're playing on your own, and it scales the enemies better for your single-player skirmishes and stuff. And it's just, I've got my little turret that I throw and it turns into a flamethrower. I've got my little rollerball thing, a bit like BB-8. Like scoots up towards an enemy that doesn't even know I'm there, scuttles along the ground, and then just explodes. So I've got my friends.
Which you blow up.
Which I blow up. But they come back.
That's why I wasn't invited back.
And it's just, I think, I mean, you'll have to help me with this one, Big. I think it might be how it plays that's the ticket with this, because the story's really, it's just in the background, isn't it? It just plays really well.
Yeah, it's, for me, I mean, I was a big fan of the first one, and the aesthetics, the Division in New York City were amazing, and because it was
wasn't it winter?
set around about Christmas time, there was snow everywhere. It just looked really cool. They obviously wanted to do something different with a sequel, so they've gone more for this sort of overgrown jungle.
It's quite warm, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit like a combination of like I Am Legend and The Last of Us, but you've got sort of I can't think foliage everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just draws you in when you pick up the audio files, and it'll be a recording of a conversation between a mum and her daughter, and they're saying,
really good, aren't they?
Something's kicking off here. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Hope I see you on Thursday. And you kind of go, I wonder what actually happened, and you just never know. It just creates this sort of backstory of what happened in the city, how things fell apart.
Yeah.
You'll come across a bit of story about the hyenas, who these people are. But like you say, you just get caught in aesthetics, the atmosphere, the looting. I loved it. I loved playing it single, and I love playing it with friends, because I just like soaking up the atmosphere.
Yeah, I've started, because there's an area there's the main missions and stuff, and some side missions that are all pretty self-explanatory. But then there's a place called the Dark Zones, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
You just genuinely can't go there on your own, so I've had to team up with people. And I discovered a really deep betrayal and a redemption. Like, this is not a part of the story. This is me with a real person. His name's Henry. His real name was Henry. Basically, I went into the Dark Zone, put my gas mask on. Henry followed me. I was like, oh, hello. Henry follows me in. We go and get some contaminated loot, some really high gear loot. I was like, oh, yes, here we go. And just as we were extracting, Henry shot me in the back of the head, and he went what the game calls rogue. So he became a painted target. So everyone that's playing can go and get Henry and just basically fuck him up. And I just turned the other cheek. I went back in, and I supported Henry. And he messaged me afterwards, and he says, "Thank you for that. I made a huge mistake." Oh, so I made a friend, guys. I made a friend.
And here he is, everybody.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show. His gamer tag were disgusting, though. I'm not reading that out. But yeah, it's just really fun. Like, there was one like story moment where, as Big said, you get these audio logs, and but it's more like a VR type thing. It like plays out in front of you.
Oh yeah, you've got the.
It's like AR type thing, isn't it? It's weird.
I can't remember what they're called, but yes, you've got
echoes.
Those as well.
Echoes.
Echoes, yes.
Yeah, and these echoes happen, and I picked one up, and it were a mother and a son, and a son was saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to the swimming pool," and she goes, "Okay," and then you go further on, and his mother gets attacked and killed by the beginning of this like pandemic, and you end up going to this pool later on, just not as a part of a mission, and there was a little kid's skeleton and stuff like that, and it just makes you think, fuck. There's like a lot of effort put into it, and I did get a beanie out of it. I got the kid's beanie. I look really good in it. I look really good in it. It's a nice beanie. I'm going to put it on, aren't I? But yeah, I got an achievement for it. Say it's something like Waste Not, Want Not.
Oh, God.
So it was a nice somber moment, ruined by me being, yeah, go on, I'll wear that. It looks good.
Looking at the skeleton, thinking, "Oh man, this is just terrible." And then, like the little icon flashed on the screen, pick up. Oh
yeah, yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's really good. I recommend it if you just. It's good if you've got no mates like me. It's good if you have got mates. I think you can have a team of 4. I think something like that.
Okay.
It's really fun. So yeah, the Division 2. That's what I've been doing, and that's what we've all been doing this week. So, Biggie, what are we talking about this week?
Reboots. Can lightning really strike twice? So for better or worse, whether we need them or not, they happen. Sometimes they fail to deliver, but sometimes they surpass our expectations. And one of our escapees wrote in and said this. Nimrod Hicks. Hi guys, great show last week. The enthusiasm for the Lord of the Rings battles being a highlight. As I have little or nothing to offer on my reboots, my question is, what would your dream reboot be?
Ooh.
Which person or people would you like to reboot any piece of media? Cheers, Nimrod Hicks.
We're
So we will be
absolutely going to do
discussing.
that.
Yes, we're talking about ones we like, we dislike, and our dream reboot.
Excellent. This is gonna be good. Very juicy. So, let's get the ball rolling with from what I can see, Clockwork Order. We're gonna go with Gadget.
Okay, so reboots that I like.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the Resident Evil games, and more precisely the kind of move that the series took after Resident Evil 6, which we don't talk about. Which was a dreadful waste of everybody's time, effort, and money.
I like it.
Resident Evil 7 was a complete reinvention for the series, and it was superb.
It was.
I never saw that coming.
No,
I don't think
Never
anyone
that
saw that fucking thing coming.
No, I remember when they first revealed it, and they had this kind of first-person camera walking through the kind of the shack outside the Baker Mansion, and I thought, "Ooh, this is an interesting way to present a Resident Evil game." And then the character interacted with something. It was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
is this the game?
This is not FMV.
Yeah.
Yeah." But it combined. It worked with a few different things because it was the first time that we really saw the new RE engine,
Which is a stellar engine. Oh my!
Oh, it is. I mean,
God.
it looks superb on base PS4 and Xbox One.
It's got some of the best burgers rendered on computers. Telling you.
Oh yeah, and Resident Evil 2, yeah.
What, in that not in the fridge in the shack anyway.
No. But
Definitely not.
That's a wimpy fridge, that.
whereas over the years, like after Resident Evil 4, which I kind of count as the last good of the original Resident Evil series,
Technically, yeah.
yeah, Resident Evil 5 and 6, and then to an extent the Revelations games, although I did like Revelations 2, that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I did.
If only for Moira Burton and her moist barrel of fucks, which is the
So
best
good.
line ever written in a game. But anyway, especially 5 and 6, they started moving away from the horror and they moved towards these kind of action blockbusters, with giant tentacle monsters and boulder punching and in volcanoes and shit like
Monster
that.
energy.
They just tried to copy
Yeah.
Gears, didn't they? They tried to jump on the success of Gears of War.
Yeah. But they also took away a lot of the isolation from it because the whole thing that made Resident Evil scary was you were generally alone, and if you weren't alone, you were protecting somebody, where it was like Sherry Birkin or Ada or anybody like that.
Yeah.
But having a co-op partner who was equally as tooled up as you and very
With infinite ammo if you were playing on your own.
yeah, with infinite ammo or in the infinite ability to waste health kits.
Yeah.
They just lost the horror aspect of it, and the games became more about kind of mowing down hordes of enemies.
I liked how iGen put it as Michael Bay's Resident Evil.
Yeah, and that didn't suit well for me.
No.
Like I played through 5, and I played through Leon's campaign in 6.
That's the only one you need to play.
I started Chris's and then nearly vomited.
So bad, that one.
Oh yeah, but when they announced 7, and it was just like, oh, this is a creepy place.
Yeah.
There's no enemies. It's quiet.
Yeah.
Where's the hordes of enemies? Oh, there's no enemies. Oh, you're being stalked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Welcome to the family, son.
yeah, and like you saw this kind of really high detailed, high quality visuals, but in these very small claustrophobic environments, and it worked so well.
Yeah.
And the molded weren't a great monster to fight, but they were fucking creepy that first time you went into the basement.
Yeah.
And you kind of see all the mold up the walls and they're dropping from places that you don't expect.
Yeah.
But like kind of being chased by Jack or kind of facing off with the various parts of the Baker clan, that all worked really well. And then you had that excellent sequence when you're playing as Mia in the ship later on in the game. And
that's how you do action.
Yeah, that is action-packed, but it's also still really tense and really scary. And, it went back to you having to conserve ammunition and conserve health kits and dodge around enemies because you didn't have the resources. as a reinvention for the series, it worked incredibly well. And I know they did the remakes of 2 and 3 and kind of went back to that horror roots with those as well, but I'm kind of not really talking about them because they're just remaking games in a new style.
Yeah.
Whereas for 7 and now for 8, that's 8 Village that's coming out in a few weeks' time, actually. It's next month, bloody hell.
It's the continuation of Ethan, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's also the thing as well. Like, they took the game away from the kind of the Raccoon City, Albert Wesker melodrama.
Oh, God.
And they made it, and there are tenuous links to the original Resident Evil series.
Oh, yeah.
Umbrella gets mentioned. You get Chris
There's emails,
Redfield.
isn't there?
Yeah, there's emails. But because it has that tenuous connection to it, it allowed it to tell a very different story. And actually, to be fair, it was a human story. Like, by the end of it, when you actually get the full run of the story, which I'm not going to spoil here, but you actually do end up feeling bad for the Bakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You absolutely do.
As monsters, they have pathos, which is fucking weird for a Resident Evil game, for there to be emotional beats in a story.
Yeah,
it's
true.
unheard of. The Resident Evil 7 was the perfect way to reinvent that series.
Oh, the expectations were pretty low, weren't they? I mean,
well, yeah.
After 5 and 6, it was just going off in that different direction was just a masterclass.
Did you ever hear what Resident Evil 7 was originally planned to be?
More of Resident Evil 6?
It was going to be vehicle-based.
Oh,
what?
Fuck off.
Yeah, genuinely, it was going to be vehicle-based. Do you know,
fuck off.
The vehicle segments that are in 6 and 5, it was going to be
real shit.
You can actually control the vehicles, and it was going to all be about like hordes as big as like what's Dead Rising? Remember the big hordes?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so glad someone at Capcom went, stop. Don't fucking do that. Do not do that. So somewhere there's going to be a vehicle-based Resident Evil appearing. I know it's going to happen.
What came out first, PT or Resident Evil 7?
PT.
PT was 2014.
Do you think that had something to do with it?
It must have.
Absolutely.
Because the response to that first-person, creepy as fuck,
I mean,
short
wasn't there
demo...
like 2 years in it?
It was 2017 for Resident Evil 7, so there's like 3 years in it.
Yeah, so yeah, I reckon absolutely.
I think they definitely took inspiration from that. I thought, let's go back to this.
Yeah.
Because I remember that demo coming out for Resident Evil 7, and at first I thought it was going to do that PT thing, like, the demo's in first person, but once we get the real game, it'll be back to third person.
I did, mate. It'll be
back
demo,
to
didn't they?
Resi 1 to 3 kind of style.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But no, they kept it like that, and then to add VR element to it as well.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
VR.
I'm still pissed off that they didn't put onto PC because it's only PS4.
It's so weird that.
It is so scary in VR.
It's really
scary. I had to give up on
so
it.
Clever.
I watched a great stream. It was one of our community members, Candy Machine, when she got her PSVR, and she streamed it. And that sequence in the opening house where Mia jumps up the stairs at you.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, she shrieked. It was hysterical.
Yeah, because I think I've said it on here before about the time that she jumped in front of me, and it made me like shriek out at the same time. It was just like, and our heart's pounding. All I can hear is Kate laughing at me from upstairs, like because I just let out the biggest shriek ever. But I kind of had to stop playing that during the segment on VR when Jack was chasing around the house because it got too much with
He's so fast.
That and the motion sickness was getting a bit too much for me. So, but even like when I took it out of VR, it's still a really creepy game, like effective game.
Yeah.
It's really fun and this is not a humble brag, because I think you've done it as well, Gadget. When you play it on Nightmare or Madhouse.
Madhouse, yeah, I've done Madhouse.
It's such a different game.
Experience.
It's so different, isn't it? It's like, it's more of it goes really traditional, like, I have one bullet left.
Yeah.
You sometimes wish, could I use it on myself?
There was, my overriding memory of Madhouse was right after you do the first boss battle with Jack.
Oh, God, with a chainsaw, yeah. Oh, no, the garage one.
No, in the garage one, yeah. And, like, he's supposed to make an appearance upstairs.
Yeah.
Like, you work your way upstairs in the bathroom, and he comes back in and he says, you're about to see something beautiful, son, or something like that, and his head grows back or some shit like that. And I was like, I'd gotten out of that. I was like, okay, I'm safe for about 15 minutes while I just potter about.
Yeah.
and I got into the foyer of the house, and then he burst through the doors like, "Hey, boy!"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Fuck!"
He doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. It's ridiculous.
No, it doesn't stop. It's
Yeah,
like,
it did
'cause
surprise me as well.
It sequence breaks so much to do Madhouse just to make
And
it
they
so
put
much
the
more of a
keys in
challenge.
different places and stuff like that, and everything is just so
Yeah.
wild.
Oh, it's a great kind of arrange mode because I think that's what they did with the old Resis. But yes, the new direction for Resident Evil 7, more of that, please.
Yeah.
And we're getting more of that.
I think
please.
8's going to be
And when we-
incredible. We've got.
Well, I mean, don't forget with 8 we get the big lady.
Oh,
Is everyone getting ready to get stomped on?
mate, there's going to be multiple deaths on my end.
Because she just stood there walking at her.
I'm like, just come at me. I'll put the pad down. I'm so excited for 8.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. But moving on from what I like to what I dislike.
Yes.
And I'm gonna do this one quickly because there's not really a lot I can say about it, but it's just one of the ones that I was
just
thinking
dislike?
about it earlier today. Well, no, I dislike it, but I think it's because I was more disappointed in it than anything.
Right.
I'm not angry, film. I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah.
But it was the kind of the new school X-Men film. So all the ones kind of starring James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
Now, I don't think they're bad films if I think back to them. I
Yeah.
don't think they're good films either. Like, I really enjoyed the original X-Men films. And I thought the casting of them was superb. We don't talk about X-Men The Last Stand for very good
Nobody
reasons.
does.
But the first two I thought were excellent.
Especially 2.
Yeah, 2 was great.
Yeah.
But the kind of the going back in time and having young Xavier and young
the
Magneto.
Days of Future Past thing.
Yeah, so like First Class, Days of Future Past,
Yeah.
Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix.
We don't talk about Dark Phoenix either.
Oh,
No.
Dark Phoenix was so bad. Oh, it was a dreadful film. But the problem I have with them is that I don't think they did anything particularly interesting, and the changes that they made to kind of like the kind of established X-Men lore to suit these narratives didn't seem to make any sense. Like having Mystique as like this kind of adopted sister to Xavier. I'm fairly sure that doesn't happen in the comics. And even
doesn't.
though-
I think the only reason that they had to do stuff with Mystique is because Jennifer Lawrence got so big. She blew up
She
as
did.
a star. So it was just like, well,
Yeah.
how can we have one of the biggest movie stars in the world
Yeah.
and not?
Well, that's why they keep
Focus
changing
on
it from
her.
being blue.
Yeah,
So
that's
so
why
you can
she's
see
like,
Jennifer Lawrence.
yeah, she's Jennifer Lawrence for most of it rather than Mystique.
Yeah.
Even
in
though
the
her
comics.
even though her character is all about this is who I am.
Oh yeah, she's so pro mutant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In the comics, she's the mother of Nightcrawler, so that never gets discussed in the.
no. But yeah,
I'm so annoyed about what it doesn't follow in the comic.
Yeah.
It just winds
Yeah.
me
So
up
bad.
so much.
Which
Yeah.
the original, even kind of the third Last Stand is kind of closer to the comics than the newer ones, even though it's shit.
which is saying a lot. But yeah, it just when I think about them, it's like I don't even have these strong overriding memories of it. They just disappointed me so much because there was so much potential, and they have a lot of good actors in them.
I tell you what I did like, sorry to butt in, but I did like, there's one particular bit on Apocalypse with Eric Lensher, Magneto, when he's trying to be good with his new wife and kid. Remember that bit?
Oh, there's a bit in the
Yeah.
forest.
Yeah, that's
I
a
really
really
like
good
that
bit.
bit. Actually, yeah,
It's a really, really good bit, and then it just turns shite again.
That's the point, because the lore, the history. I mean, I'm a massive X-Men fan.
Yeah, so am I.
The comics, and it's just like you've got this material there that you can actually still write a good screenplay from.
Yeah.
And I just, like Gadget says, I just cannot understand the choices they've made through a lot of the movies to how they, right, 1 and 2 were successful, and even they changed a few things, but you just look at all those big stories
And
throughout the
look how
X-Men
good
history.
they did
could have
Quicksilver as
used.
well, and then if you can do him so good,
It feels
why
like
can't you do anything else so
It feels
good?
like Fox were embarrassed that they were making comic book films.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah,
just
like they
don't
just
get
never
it.
embraced it fully.
Yeah,
Yep,
I agree with
totally
you.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
It just I found them incredibly frustrating. I think, how the fuck do you fuck up Apocalypse as a baddie?
He's one of the best. He's the first mutant, for fuck's sake.
And I mean, we're going to say Dark Phoenix.
Oh.
They had already done that film with Last Stand.
And they made it worse.
Exactly. I mean, Last Stand has problems across the board. It's
Yeah.
not a good film,
It's got
but
Vinnie
it's
Jones in
better
it,
than
for fuck's
Dark.
sake.
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah, but it's head and shoulders better than Dark Phoenix.
It is.
I mean, when me and Stig were on the Never Watchers podcast, I pointed out the fact that they had Jessica Chastain in there as a baddie, and she's so forgettable. She did nothing.
Yeah,
she's a brilliant actress.
She's supposed to be the Kree, but not. They didn't call them the Kree, did they?
No, they were just like some generic alien
called them
that was
something
interested
else.
in Phoenix.
We'd
forgotten she was in the film so much that when he said Jessica Chastain, we thought he was talking about Sophie Turner.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
We thought he'd got the wrong actress because we just forgot that she was in the film.
Exactly.
Two redheads.
Yeah. It was just, it's absolutely mind-boggling what they've done to this franchise. And like, when they said like Dark Phoenix was going to be like the last of their contractual obligations or last film they could do before they had to renegotiate with Marvel, I remember sitting there thinking, fucking good. Don't do any more. You can't do this. You shouldn't be allowed.
I liked Michael Fassbender as the younger.
I do.
Fassbender is good as Lensher. He really is.
Good.
Yeah, I like Michael Fassbender. I don't buy James McAvoy as Xavier.
Neither do I.
There's something, and this is not just me preferring Patrick Stewart. I mean, how can you not like Patrick Stewart? But like Patrick Stewart, and also thinking back to like the comic books and the cartoon from the 90s, which is the greatest thing ever committed to television. Charles Xavier always had this gravitas to him. And I know he's supposed to be young and he's supposed to be learning who he is. But when you go back into the comic books and into kind of flashback sequences in the cartoon and in other media, Xavier always has that gravitas. He's a very serious man. He's a very in-control man. Because of his power, he has to be in control. Otherwise, his brain would explode, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
You know, like this kind of emotional, angry, semi-violent dickhead that
Pisshead as well
is. And Pisshead, yeah. It's like, that's not Xavier.
No, it's not, is it?
That's James McAvoy, basically. You know, and it's just like, there's just so much.
I do like McAvoy in general, but yeah, I don't like him.
That picture of him always using his power just really annoys me as well.
Yeah. Also, that what was it? That fucking who did they get to play Cyclops in these ones? Ty something or other.
Yeah, the guy from the boxing film.
Yeah, he was in.
He's in Ready Player One, isn't he?
Yeah, he played Wade in Ready Player One, so I automatically hate the fucker.
Wade Watts.
Yeah, so yeah, the new school X-Men. Fuck them.
Yeah, people will shout at you because people liked New Class and stuff.
I like Days of Future Past, to be honest. I really,
I think it's a mess.
But I also,
it is a mess. It's enjoyable, but I agree with both.
I do agree, and every single film, one of them just seemed to be. They just kept resetting Xavier and Magneto. Like they would fight, then they're friends, then they fight, friends.
In the comics, they were always friends. They never called themselves enemies, but I don't think they
gentlemen's enemies.
Yeah, that's it. Old school gentlemen's enemies.
But the timeline
never
pisses me off more in the young New Class stuff. Yeah. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Yet none of them age for more than like 5 years.
Mutant abilities, pal. Mutant abilities.
No, even like the regular humans.
It's only Logan that technically doesn't age.
Moira, she doesn't age at all between the 60s and the 90s.
Don't in Apocalypse, he mentions that. He says, she's not aged a day.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, fuck's sake.
Isn't it in the last one, in Dark Phoenix? They're only a few years away from the first X-Men film where they meet Wolverine.
5 years away.
So it's just like, how badly does James McAvoy age in the next?
He loses his
8 to 9 years.
He turns into Patrick Stewart.
It's like that thing about with Star Wars, isn't it? Like how I want to see how Obi-Wan in 20 years got from this
to Alec Guinness.
To Alec Guinness.
From Ewan McGregor that looks incredible still to this day.
Yeah.
To Alec Guinness.
And it's been 20 years since those films
exactly. Oh dear, we're splitting hairs here, to be fair. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think the newer X-Men are a bit shit. So we'll come on to what you want to see after we've gone through everyone else. So we'll go to you, Sticks. I'm sure you've got some absolutely hard-hitting opinions here.
Yeah, maybe.
You know you have.
Maybe.
So my first one that I liked, I originally was going to do the new Ape, Planet of the Apes trilogy.
Yeah, the Caesar trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they're brilliant. Yeah, and like the CGI and everything, and the human element of that story, but coming from the ape side, I just think is so well done. But then I thought about something actually that I've really loved after such a long break in quite shit games, and that's like the Mortal Kombat reboot they did in 2011.
Yes.
So for me, Mortal Kombat 1 to 3 are all time as fighting games. I think they're brilliant.
Yeah.
4's not good.
And then the age of the 3D fighter came about.
Yeah.
And Mortal Kombat 4 is absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
and
then
from that,
I think there were Deadly Alliance, Armageddon.
yeah, you get a string of really terrible
Sub-Zero stories or whatever it's called.
Yeah, like
Shaolin monks.
Fuck, I forgot about
like
that.
platformer, like side platformer,
Yeah.
things and various fighting games. So between 97 and 2006, you get these terrible 3D.
And then there was the DC Mortal Kombat one as well.
I was going to mention that one. They did a collaboration with DC, which sounds cool.
But it wasn't.
We get DC fighters, DC characters against Mortal Kombat characters. But the fact that DC refused to let any of their characters be killed meant that
No fatalities.
Yeah, no fatalities. It just wasn't Mortal Kombat. So not only was it a terrible fighting game, it just sucked everything Mortal Kombat.
It even had Mark Hamill on it.
Yeah.
And it was still shit.
Yeah. It sucked everything about what makes Mortal Kombat fun out of the game.
Surely having Superman as a beat 'em up character as well purely
have you not played Injustice?
Everybody else.
Yeah, I mean,
Injustice is really good.
Yeah, but Injustice is similar to it's a similar style to these new Mortal Kombat games.
Same people making it.
Yeah. So in 2011, they saw a reboot, which kind of took it back to its roots. It became a traditional 2D approach, although technically it's that 2D, 2.5D, isn't it? So it's a 2D fighter, but obviously everything looks really polished and given that kind of 3D effect with the proper backgrounds and things like that. Combat feels absolutely new and fresh. They took away just high and low kicks and replaced it. Each button is now a per limb button, and you execute special moves, and they introduce the X-ray moves.
Oh, so good.
So to add more brutality into it, outside of the usual just special moves and fireballs and whatnot and fatalities, you get this X-ray move. So when you get special, you hit this X-ray move on them, and it goes into a little sequence where you beat the shit out of your opponent. And
it's so good.
Every now and again, it hits them in a certain point, and it goes into an X-ray and shows that part of the body just getting fucked up. Either it's part of their bones cracking, or
scrotum.
or their organs getting like ripped apart, and it's just a real cool feature they put.
But they still live to fight another day.
Obviously, you get back up and you carry on fighting, even though these X-ray moves are like
there's
one where one of
they're a fatality in themselves.
I think it's Sonya Blade. She shoots them straight in the head with a Desert Eagle, and they just go, a bit of my health bars was knocked off. The bullet goes straight through the brain.
But they look cool as fuck.
Are you telling me that's not how Desert Eagles work?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but yeah, they look really cool. And it added something different to it, and then they added a storyline into it. So rather than it just being that classic tower, so the old Mortal Kombat games was you start at the bottom of a tower and you fight your way up to the bad guy, to either Shang Tsung or Shao Kahn or whoever's at the top.
Motaro.
And I really love the crazy batshit mental story they're going with. So the first one in 2011 goes back to the original.
Yeah, it does, doesn't
so
it?
It starts you at Mortal Kombat 1, but then due to wackiness and craziness and
time travel
and all that kind of nonsense, it splits off into its own new timeline. Yeah. And like in this one, something like Shao Kahn has invaded Earth. He's thought, can't be arsed with this tournament anymore. Fuck this, I'm invading Earth.
Yeah.
And
as you do.
It plays on that. And but what I really like about the way they did these as well is you have these cutscenes, and then the cutscenes seamlessly take you into the fights.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of say you're Sonya Blade, and you've got this Sonya Blade cutscene, and then these bad guys will come from the other side. You might be Kano or someone, and then they'll have a bit of back and forth, and then the camera will kind of spin round to this 2D model, and you're in the fight.
Yeah.
And like each character then has, they all crack wise at each other as well. Like,
I'm going to slice you from ear to ear.
Yeah, but
That's what Kano says.
They do it. rather than
I thought you were going to go at Stig then.
No.
but rather than it being like just a generic one as well, they've made it character specific.
Yeah.
So if you're Sonya and you're fighting Kano, their back and forth is aimed at each other, and I thought that was a really nice touch. But yeah, I just think it's from a game that really lost its way for.
Oh God, it did.
What we talking there?
10 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
14 years between 97 and this game. After having such a strong start in the 90s.
Mate, Deadly Alliance had a full-on fucking RPG mode on it where you ran around a map.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
You were Shaolin Monk, I think.
Yeah, you were crap.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember
it was
playing
so
that.
bad.
Just like, but yeah, I mean, they've kept it. They kept elements like they kept the classic tower in. They kept Test Your Might. They kept the crypts in. The crypts were always good. That was a new thing but the fighting and everything else around it is just so much better. And then they've done Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and 11. The storyline carries on. The same.
Do you like what they do on 11? Because I've been recently playing 11 actually. Where
I haven't done the new expansion.
I'm not talking with the actual gameplay. Do you know with the X-ray moves? Now you activate them when you're getting your ass kicked.
Yeah,
so
there's
a tactical element to it. So if it's like a desperation move, it's really cool.
Yeah,
like if you're on death's door, you press it and boom, you're away.
I often found that in some fighting games it always seemed unfair for the person who was winning.
Yeah.
Their power bar was building up.
Yeah.
And then they could just fuck the other person up.
Yeah.
So not only are they getting battered already, now they've got a special and they're just like, right, we're going to finish you off now.
It for 11.
I can kind of get why, because you deserve to be rewarded for being better. But like Oodle says, this one kind of flips it. So if you are getting battered, then there's a bit of help there for you. But yeah, the storyline's just crazy throughout the whole thing.
So good.
It just gets more and more nuts.
It's
and like
so good.
People turning into bad guys, all these like alternative reality.
There's
like
3 Raidens, isn't there?
Yeah, like it's like zombie Liu Kang coming back and things like that, and it
sounds like wrestling.
It's worse, believe it or not.
Yeah, but much needed, absolutely much needed for Mortal Kombat. That reboot was
Good choice.
That's the one I like, and so just onto the ones I dislike. It's pretty much every attempt to reboot the Terminator franchise since 2009.
Yeah, hard agree.
Oh yes.
So Terminator 1 and 2, absolute stone cold classics.
All-timers.
3 is terrible, but there's still a bit of fun to be had
3.
in there.
3's hilarious.
I remember it. Is it the
It's
Terminatrix?
bad. It's really bad.
No,
it's got the female Terminator in it.
Yeah. But there's some good scenes in that, like within the film.
He's walking through the graveyard with a holding gun.
Oh yeah.
And the ending to 3 is brilliant.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Less said about. I mean, I'm so glad they took that deleted scene out of 3, where you see Arnie as the guy.
Yeah.
The guy they based the Terminator on. But he's like a proper he's like, I'm American.
I remember that.
And then like he goes, we got to do something about that voice. And then a scientist turns up with Arnie's voice, and it's like, yeah, okay. But 3 just had its bad points, and you can see why they thought, right, it's been over a decade now, let's bring Terminator back.
Salvation.
And the Salvation was a good idea.
No. Me and you
right, Christian, calm down.
I do actually like quite a lot of Salvation.
It has good ideas, because it isn't just, let's send someone back in time and send a Terminator back to help save the other one. It's like, right, let's see the war between the humans and the machines. Let's see everything that led up to the point where John Connor sends Kyle Reese back in time.
He's so intense as John Connor in that.
Yeah. And
well, I mean, Christian Bale is such a method actor. He went forward to the future to fight in a war against machines, to come back, just so he knew exactly what to expect.
To fight the war against sound men.
Yeah.
Christian Bale, he's so like...
watch your back, Gadget.
He just flips between either hamming it up or looking completely bored. Like in that film.
I agree.
It's just all over the place.
Who directed that one?
Oh,
'Cause
it's
that's
McGee.
got to be on the
McGee
director.
from
Yeah,
Charlie's
yeah,
Angels.
Yes.
Yeah.
McGee,
Right,
the
okay,
guy
that's on the
who
director.
his 2 films before that were Charlie's Angels and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, or music videos. That's all he's got. And it's like, how can you hand such a massive franchise
Yeah, agreed.
to just someone with a track record of 2 shit films? And we'll get on to Genesis and who the director of that was.
Oh God, yeah.
But yeah, you've got Sam Worthington, Mr. fucking charisma
Ruin a
vacuum,
franchise.
charisma vacuum himself.
Yeah.
It's Marcus Wright, and Anton Yelchin is Kyle Reese. Anton Yelchin was a very good actor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he
I forgot he was in that.
didn't scream Kyle Reese to me at
No,
all.
not at
No.
all. Not at all.
You don't go from Anton Yelchin to Michael Biehn like they're just.
They should have just de-aged Michael Biehn because he's incredible.
Yeah, they should do.
Yeah.
But that the film's got some other great actors and actresses in there. It's just not good.
Hasn't it got Matt Smith in it at the very beginning?
No, that's one of the other ones.
Oh, is that one of the other ones?
Yeah, so it's got good action scenes, but it's loud, and bombastic, but
I like the
completely
enemies
hollow.
were quite cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, so you got that. Arnie couldn't be in it because he
Nope.
was the governor at the time. So they've just got this horrible CGI-looking clone.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
It looks so
Yeah.
bad. And yeah, the movie bombed. I looked this up before I started. So technically it made more money than its budget, but it made less than double, which is a bomb, especially for a franchise.
Well, yeah, that's a bomb for a franchise
Yeah.
blockbuster.
How much did it cost to make? About 100 million?
200 mil to make, and only made
Good lord.
only made
Fuck.
371.
Oh,
So how do you go from Charlie's Angels to here's $200 million, go film
Charlie's
this?
Angels made money.
He's obviously got
Doesn't
friends
matter.
with the right
It's
people.
the wrong kind of movie for
McGee
it.
did Britney Spears music videos and stuff, so it's like...
The thing is with Salvation, it committed that heinous crime of an action film, and a franchise action film, of being entirely forgettable. It wasn't a bad film. It wasn't a good film. It was beige wallpaper with explosions.
The actual lighting is very dark as well. I remember struggling to see some of that film on the old DVD player.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've seen it, and I remember very little of it, other than Christian Bale sitting on rooftops.
Yeah, he did sit
Yeah.
on rooftops quite a few times. It's good at that.
So yeah, that one bombed terribly. So then they left it for 6 years, and he's now back in the game. He's finished doing his governing, and he's back in the acting game. So let's reboot Terminator again with Terminator Genesis, because that's not how you spell Genesis.
Genesis.
This one's directed by Alan Taylor. Alan Taylor's last job before this was Thor: The Dark World, often referred to as the worst MCU film.
It is.
And he's right, because it is the worst one.
There's no two ways about that. That is the worst one. The only one I've seen once.
Yeah. This one did make a bit of a money back, 160 mil budget, got 446.
Didn't it have Daenerys
million.
Targaryen in it?
Yeah.
There you
But
go.
critically, it was a bomb. 27% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Fuck.
This stars Jason Clarke as John Connor, who is awful casting.
I don't like his face anyway.
Jason
Sorry if
Clarke.
you're listening.
Jason Clarke is a good actor.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, I agree.
But he is not John Connor. Look at John Connor in that scene from Terminator 2. This grizzled, hard bastard.
Michael Bain, maybe.
Then look at Jason Clarke, and that does not scream John Connor at all. And then, yeah, so you've got Emilia Clarke, she's Sarah Connor, and Jai Courtney, an even bigger charisma vacuum than Sam Worthington,
Who's Jai Courtney? What's he done?
is Kyle Reese.
No, but what other films is he in?
He's in Die Hard 5.
Oh, Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, he's Captain. Yeah,
Yeah, he's Captain Boomerang.
Fuck's sake.
yeah.
Yeah, I've just looked up a picture of Jason Clarke. I mean, he's a conventionally handsome man.
He looks like a
He's
dad,
not-
doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's no.
He's just a dad.
He's not.
He's definitely not a John Connor. Could they not have just got Edward Furlong back? He'd have been the right age.
I don't think Edward Furlong's in the right frame of mind to be
No.
back.
Probably not. But this one, it's like, again, so it's like, oh, what would we do? Okay, let's send someone back in time. This one basically starts before T1,
Yeah, yeah.
and it shows Kyrie's been sent back in time. But as he's getting sent back in time, something happens because of reasons, in inverted comma. And it's the description here says, something creates a nexus point of temporal paradox that alters the timeline and causes Kyle to experience childhood memories from an alternative version of himself. So basically, he's been sent back into an alternative timeline.
That's not how time works.
And when he meets Sarah, she's already prepared, because guess who's with her?
Da-dum, dum, da-dum.
And he's back, baby, as Pops.
Yeah, they call him Pops. I remember that, yeah.
Pops.
And he's quite human. He's still a robot, but he's quite human.
Who sent Pops? Never find out. No idea.
So as Pops, is he the? Because I haven't seen Genesis. Is
T-800, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a T-800.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, is he the Terminator 2 T-800? Is it like, did he not have the bath in the Did he not have the bath in the lava?
No, he's just one that got sent back.
Yeah.
How many did they send back?
Oh, they never
They couldn't
stop.
upload it.
Oh, this one hasn't worked. We'll just pop another one out the cupboard
Yeah.
and send that
Never
one back.
stop,
They couldn't
Never
upload the
stop.
backup to the iCloud as
And
well.
also, like, if they have this ability to send one back, why do they only ever send one?
Yeah.
If they just sent an army back, like,
Army of Arnie.
yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, you never find
There's
out.
a film idea.
Writing
And
this
then-
down.
I'm sorry if anyone wants to see these films. You don't need to. They're
No,
terrible.
you don't. You don't need to.
Here, there's a bit of time jumping, so now they jump into to today. So it's
Yeah.
2017. They jump into, and Skynet is no longer Skynet. It's called Genesis.
It's called
And
Facebook.
they have to stop Genesis thing. At this point, for some reason, John Connor turns up. Oh, John, what are you doing in 2017? It's revealed that John Connor's now a Terminator.
Ba-bum, bum, ba-bum.
What?
Yeah,
Yep.
that happened. And he's like a nanobot Terminator
Yep.
as well.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
Fuck
dun.
Yeah. Oh no, you need to watch this
Not
now.
nanobots again.
No, Gadget, you don't need to watch this, because just watch the trailer, because they put that in the fucking trailer.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they
the,
did.
The big reveal.
The big
twist.
reveal, the big twist they put in the trailer.
Ba-bum,
It's like-
bum, ba-bum.
But yeah, it's just, again, it is a terrible film. Like, both leads are terrible.
That sounds dreadful.
Amelia Clarke just does not suit Sarah Connor at all.
She doesn't
She
suit an
looks
American
like
accent.
She looks like she's scared to shoot guns half the time in it. It just, like, she is not Linda Hamilton.
Nobody
I swear.
is.
And
Is
then,
Genesis the one where they brought back Linda Hamilton?
No.
no, that's the next one. We'll get on
Give
to
him
that
chance.
one. Give me
Oh,
a chance.
good lord.
So yeah, I mean, I love Arnie. Who doesn't love Arnie? But like, this one was just kind of like, oh, Arnie's back now, but he's old.
Mm.
Oh, great. Like, let's make hilarious jokes about how he's old. It's like, and do you know the worst thing about this film? And it's nothing to even do with the film. It's James fucking Cameron. Because he put a video out on the internet saying this film is a great film. It's Terminator back in form.
That's right. He did,
And he
yeah.
endorsed this film, and it is the worst one out of the lot.
He was in a submarine while they were doing that video.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's always in.
Like, what did you get paid to say this, James? Because
Yes, but based on the quality of Avatar, we're fairly confident that James Cameron knows nothing about films.
Hey,
hey,
people
hey,
love Avatar. I don't.
That doesn't mean they're
People
right.
do.
James Cameron knows a lot, but obviously he was being handed a big sack with a $sign on it for that.
Let's not forget James Cameron did Terminator 2. Let's not forget that.
Exactly. And yeah, and then we get to Dark Fate, 2019. This one is directed by Tim Miller. So
I went to cinema to see this.
Yep, this is the guy who did Deadpool.
Yeah.
So it's,
No.
yeah, so you think, oh, actually, yeah, we bring Linda Hamilton back, looking badass as fuck.
Mm.
And he's
Ticking
back.
boxes.
Yeah.
She looks incredible in it.
You've got the new Terminator, looks great. Mackenzie Davis, and she is, she's a good Terminator, sorry, and I forget who the bad guy is. I can't remember his name, but they bring a guy who looks very similar to Robert Patrick in the way he moves and his mannerisms.
Yeah, he's the South American actor. Oh, he was in Narcos at one point as well. He's really good.
I can't remember
Really
his
good.
name, unfortunately. But this one centers around the fact that after T2, Sarah Connor and John get away,
Yeah, yeah.
but the machines never stopped. So she was constantly on the move.
They kept coming
And
back,
this
didn't they?
sets up the point. This actually sets up that John Connor got killed.
Yeah.
But as like the age that Edward Furlong is. So you get this
Yeah.
little flashback scene of him getting killed. And this sets like Sarah Connor then is on a mission to basically monitor goings on and make sure that the machines don't fuck anything else up. But what they found out was that Grace, played by Natalie Reyes, she's basically the new John Connor. This is the woman who will lead the resistance against the machines in John Connor's place. So it doesn't matter that they killed John Connor because someone else will just take his place.
I like her as well.
Yeah, they're all very good. Like the cast is good. This is definitely the best one out of the reboot.
Yeah, it is.
It's still not great. It's still very average. And again, Arnie's back. But
yeah, even more aged.
Oh man, the way they bring Arnie back in this is absolutely terrible.
Hasn't he got a family and a wife?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sorry if I'm spoiling this.
Yeah. Sorry. That took me a moment to process.
He's got a wife. Pardon.
So it's not really. It's a weird situation. Basically, what happens is the Terminator who killed John Connor
just stopped working or something.
Can't get back to the future.
Yeah.
So he's stuck in that timeline. He has no mission. He has completed his mission.
His free will.
Yeah.
So he works at B&Q.
Basically,
that's not even far off.
Yeah, he develops free will and he develops humanity, and he basically becomes.
He builds caravans or something.
He becomes a normal person and integrates himself into society, and he has a
job.
He lives with a woman and a child. And look at Gadget's face; it's just like, what the fuck?
He cooks dinner and everything.
I haven't seen this, and I'm trying to process.
He drinks beer.
I'm spelling my exclamation of what as HWAT. What?
Yeah. It makes no sense. This killer robot's just like, I've completed my mission now, so I'll just go find a wife.
Hasn't he got a little beard as well?
Yeah, but
based on this description as well, how did this get 70% on Rotten Tomatoes?
It's not shocking. That's the thing. It's the action scenes are probably really. I think they're really good.
But yeah, it's just again another attempt to revive it, and
it's got a good ending. I'll give you that.
I'm sorry, Arnie. As much as I love you, just leave Terminator alone now, please.
Yeah. He won't ever go back to Predator. That's the fucking sad thing.
Yeah.
He said he doesn't like it.
Yeah, that is my dislike. Is just
they're just not good enough, are they?
No, they're not good enough. They don't hold a candle to the first two, and I know it's hard to basically to do better than masterpieces. But do better, Hollywood. Do better.
Excellent. Thank you for that, man. That was so much passion in that. I love it, and you're completely right. So, speaking of passion, Diggy.
Hello. Yeah, so my choice is Battlestar Galactica.
Good choice.
Yes.
So the original TV series ran in 1978, and I thought it was a really weird choice to sort of reboot this, considering it came in 2004. So you've got this huge gap of this timeline where they've suddenly thought, what can we reboot? Oh, let's go to a show that was run in the 78. Do you know what I mean? I just don't understand the thought process for this. But
I mean, clearly they couldn't get the rights for Blake 7.
I was just thinking that. What else could they have done? Blake 7 or what's it?
Yeah, it's such a strange one to sort of pull out the bag, but my word, did they do it. The reboot first actually aired as a 2-part, 3-hour miniseries, and then it led on to become a main series and even ended up with a prequel, amongst others. But for those that don't know anything about it, it's basically in a distant part of the universe, human civilization has extended to a group of planets known as the 12 colonies, to which they migrate to their ancestral homeworld of Kobol. The 12 colonies end up having this huge fight between another race of cybernetics known as the Cylons, whose goal is obviously to exterminate the human race, as all baddies are.
Obviously.
The Cylons end up pulling off a ruse of peace with the humans and end up with a massive nuclear attack, destroying pretty much the majority of the 12 colonies, and they end up having some various parts of the starships fly off and end up becoming this sort of one final colony. And it's basically about their survival in space as they try to find the 13th colony known as Earth.
Oh.
And it's such an interesting one because I never saw this coming. When I did find out about it, I couldn't get my head around the fact that this had been rebooted. But just the choices of actors, the storylines, they really went full tilt on this. The quality of the stories really brought heart and soul out of the performances of the actors, to the point where some of the choices that the certain characters in the show would have to make were really on edge. You really couldn't quite agree with both sides, which I thought was really clever.
Yeah.
The sort of politics that ran between either saving, I don't know, for example, there's like a virus breaks out on a particular ship, and they have to make the decision whether to try and help them or destroy the ship to save the rest of the colony, and that sort of decision making. And
it's like the lesser of two evils type thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it really put the pressure on the commander, Adama, which was played by the wonderful Edward James Olmos. He brings to a gravitas to that role. He brings a sort of sense of experience, wise wisdom. He just really pulled it off. He was superb. And I think a lot of the actors as well that played various roles, it's very pro women again. You've got Katie Sackhoff, who ends up playing a male role, which became a female role for her, which is Starbuck.
Yeah.
And she was excellent, really rebellious character, really made that her own.
Sassy as well, yeah.
Yeah, she was superb in that. Grace Park, who played Boomer, another crush of mine. She was awesome in that. And Apollo was a slightly younger character, I think.
Yeah.
He was really good. But I must mention James Callis, who played Baltar, and Tricia, I think Heffer, her name is, who played Number 6, who was kind of like a combination of a Cylon and a human, basically. But it ran for 74 episodes. I mean, it was a huge series. And I just think the performances, the special effects were amazing. They really did a really good job. And a lot of it actually just basically stayed on the ships. A lot of the interaction was basically in this very sort of hostile environment on the ships.
It looks good, though. That's what I think. The interiors of the ship is incredible.
Yeah, you had issues of like sabotage going on. There was sort of obviously there were romances going on. They also had some great scenes, which is in like a bar in there, where some of the crew actually got to let their hair down during the show as well. And you got to see some real sort of behind the scenes of what the crew would possibly be like on these sort of ships. I loved it. I thought it was so good.
I've only just watched it in the last year.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm very new to it. I'm fresh. When I'd finished watching The Expanse, I needed something, and everyone in Discords were telling me, "You've got to watch this." And yeah, they were right, weren't they?
Yeah, and I just think if you haven't had a chance to see it, it's not. It's very different to the original series as well, which had a lot of what you'd say sort of that real feel good.
Yeah.
Camp
late 70s, early 80s camp sort of storylines, where this has got some real serious issues that are discussed.
I've only seen a few episodes of the first season. I do like it. It's something that I want to go back to and finish.
There's so much, though.
I know. The one thing that always struck me watching it that I really liked was the dirtiness and griminess of it.
I was going to say the aesthetics of it.
Yeah, because you get a lot of sci-fi that even when it pretends to be serious and dark and whatever, it's all very clean and very neon and very, sci-fi. Whereas with Battlestar, like you look at the set design, the production design, like it looks like they've taken inspiration from like ocean-going ships that we have now. Like everything is very utilitarian,
big hulls and stuff.
Yeah, hulls and bulkheads, and like everything looks dirty and grimy, but like it's being used. It's the same thing as like the production design of like Firefly.
All later episodes of Red Dwarf when it got muckier.
Yeah, where everything kind of looks dark and used and grungy, and that's something I always appreciate in sci-fi, when something looks like it's used. Like I hate super clean white
Star Wars
lights. I'll give it like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films.
Oh God, the lens flare ships, you mean?
Not even just the lens flare, but like if you look at how clean the Enterprise is, I know it's the flagship and all that, but it doesn't look like it's used. It doesn't look like it's a functional ship.
Yeah.
It looks like the set of a sci-fi film.
What's it do?
Well, I know, but you know what I mean, though. It's like it doesn't, like, even when you get into like the second two films, like it doesn't look like something where people exist there. It's all very polished and very like high sheen and stuff like that. Where I like a good like grungy sci-fi.
I also quite like
totally
how it's if I can remember right, it's a bit like The Expanse, where when they are dogfighting and things, it looks like they're firing bullets rather
there's
than like
physics
lasers.
to it. Yeah, it's really good. Cool. Battlestar Galactica. So what's the reboot you're not so into?
Lethal fucking Weapon.
Oh dear.
What the fuck was that?
I've not seen it, mate.
The TV series that they made.
I've not seen it at all.
No, I never bothered.
The thing is, I grew up, I saw Lethal Weapon when it came out there originally, and one
you
and
had
two are
Riggs'
great.
haircut, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a film of that time. If Stiggy likes Die Hard, then kind of Lethal Weapon's up there for me, is that kind of era of movies.
Yeah.
And I love the role that character that Mel Gibson brought to the role of Riggs. I really appreciated the fact that I think he really sold this sort of cop that had lost his wife, just gone a bit off the edge. And I love the fact that
Mel Gibson in real life is like that now.
Totally. And the fact that oh my god, who played Myrtle? I've forgotten now.
Danny Glover.
Thank you, Danny Glover.
DG.
Again, he played the role perfectly of this sort of policeman coming to the end of his retirement.
Absolutely.
And that chemistry sold the movie. That's how it worked. That's what you love about those characters. It worked in 1, 2 was as good. Yes, it dropped off a little, 3, and then 4 was a bit odd. And yeah, but I just thought what you had there was perfect. You didn't need anything else. You never need to. You wouldn't want to see them make it now as like what happened to these characters. All
First
these
film,
years
I
later,
think, is incredible.
If what, sorry?
The first film, I think, is absolutely incredible.
It's brilliant. I love it. Go back. If you haven't seen it for a long time, go back and you'll still appreciate how good it was. And it is a Christmas movie. But when it comes down to this TV series, I just don't know what they were thinking. I just don't understand what they were trying to do here. Because everything that made Lethal Weapon good, they completely ignored to make this TV series. You got the two leads who aren't anything special. Yes, Damon Wayans does have an acting career to speak of, but he just doesn't pull this off at all.
Isn't he more comedian?
Yeah, but it's Danny Glover's funny.
I know Danny Glover's
Lethal
funny.
Weapon.
Yeah.
He's very good, but he is the straight character.
He's not
he does
funny
it
in
at the
Predator
right
2,
time.
though, is he?
No, not at all. But Damon Wayans just gets it all wrong. And the guy that plays Riggs, which is Clayne Crawford, you can see he's trying way too hard. It just doesn't work. They had issues with him as an actor to the point where they killed Riggs off for the third season.
Fucking hell.
Replaced him by his half brother, obviously, because that's the one way to always kill somebody off in a show. And then they replaced him with Sean William Scott, who came in
Who's
as
that
a character.
now? Who does he play?
He plays a
Stifler from
character
American
that
Pie.
I couldn't be asked to find out
God.
and tell you about because I refuse to watch it. It's just I just don't know what they were doing. It just isn't
Trying to make some money, weren't they?
worth it. Yes, and it's completely misunderstanding what made Lethal Weapon the hit that it was. Because Lethal Weapon, the action in there is good. It's no different to lots of other movies that came out at that time. But it was good. It was well done.
It had a good family dynamic. The scene where
but
it comes to
everything else is what sold the Lethal Weapon
It's
movies,
great
and it was
script.
all completely ignored for the TV series. So please avoid that like the plague.
Does the TV show have those like saxophone moments in it?
Oh, yeah, just sat in his trailer drinking.
Yeah, just like none of that.
Sleepless nights. Taking his
Not
vest
melancholy,
off.
like or anything like that. Just
I stopped watching it. I have no idea. It probably does. It could be the greatest show in the world, but the fact that I did watch a bit,
You shouldn't have to scrape through shite episodes just to get to the greatest
just
show in the
annoyed me so much that I just refused to watch it.
nothing will ever hit the heights of it of Diplomatic Immunity.
No,
just
what
been
what an end that was.
Lovely boy.
Even when we watched that, we watched it with Kate. She's like, I've never seen him before. I was like, let's watch him. She absolutely loved that bit.
Yeah.
It's just been revoked.
So good.
Well, I mean, to be fair, nothing they could make for Lethal Weapon would ever top Lethal Weapon 5.
Oh.
Are you having a fucking laugh?
No, you've not. You need to watch Always Sunny.
You need to watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They
do Lethal Weapon
maybe 3
5.
episodes where they basically make Lethal Weapon 5 because the studios won't do it.
It's incredible.
Okay, I'll watch that episode.
Yeah, I haven't
definitely.
seen that, so I'm going to have to watch that.
Definitely
now.
will.
I am not saying anything about what happens in it because there is a point halfway through where you will. And I literally did this when I watched it. Spit whatever you're drinking over whatever you're watching.
Oh no.
Watching it on. In my case, a PC.
Oh dear.
Oh man, it's so
I'm
good.
prepared. I'll definitely do
I'm
that.
definitely sold on
They
that.
did 6 as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they
What?
did 6. There's 3 episodes where they do Lethal Weapon across the 15 season run.
Amazing. I'm definitely going to find this one.
Okay.
I also want to give a quick shout out actually to, was it Loaded Weapon, which was the spoof of Lethal Weapon?
Yeah, it's quite good, that.
Which had Samuel L. Jackson as the Robert Murtaugh character, which definitely has some good moments.
The scene of where he can't use his gun, and it cuts back, and she's going, shoot him! And it's a mime with his finger out. And you can't just...
Yeah, it's not as good as Airplane or whatever, but it definitely has its moments, that one.
Right, so we will have to move on because we could talk about Lethal Weapon all day. My picks. Hello.
Yes, you. What are your picks, Oodles?
The one I really like is the Castlevania Lords of Shadow, a computer game.
Ooh, controversial.
Yeah.
Everyone hated that.
Well, it scored an 85 on Metacritic, sir.
I have heard good things about this, but I haven't played it.
Created by Mercury Steam and Kojima Productions, produced by none other than Hideo Kojima.
Oh, there we found the crooks.
Yeah.
So basically, Castlevania, it never really stopped because there were a lot of handheld versions coming up, really good ones as well for the Game Boy Advance and stuff like that, and the DS. And then, out of the blue, in 2010, Lords of Shadows came, riffing completely off of the original God of War type.
Oh yeah, it's very God of
games. However, imagine God of War times William Shakespeare. So it starred Robert Carlyle as Gabriel Belmont, and Sir Patrick Stewart as Zobek, and Jason Isaacs as Satan himself. So
I've forgotten about that.
Oh, very stellar cast. And the game.
Sorry to interrupt. Jason Isaacs also in the animated TV show.
Yes, he is. So
he's got pedigree in that franchise.
Yeah.
Then.
Oh, absolutely. Basically, it's imagine Kojima getting his hands on gothic Eastern European myth, and you've got the story with a little sprinkle of Guillermo del Toro, because he's friends with him as well. Created some of the monster-looking creatures, and a little bit of Shadow of the Colossus as well. It's just a really good game, and it brought the Mirror of Fates on the DS, 3DS, which is a really good 2D version of that. We don't talk about Lords of Shadow 2 very well.
I've heard bad things about that one.
That's not very good. It's just a really strong God of War clone. And when I say God of War, not the superb rebooted version. Just basically God of War, where you're just racking up those combo meters and really going at it. It's just really good. And genuinely, Robert Carlyle is really good as Gabriel Belmont, the first Belmont of the Belmont clan in all of Castlevania. And there's some really good moments that discuss immortality with vampires and stuff like that, and biblical references and Eastern European myths.
Hasn't it got really big boss fight things as well going on?
Yeah, like Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, you climb up them and stuff like that. It riffs on a lot. There's nothing original about it apart from the story.
Oh no, not a bit.
There isn't a drop.
Even the story's not that original.
No, I suppose not. Yeah. All right, good versus evil.
Good versus evil. Dead wife.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah, there's nothing original, but it's just a solid package, and it's they've fucked it off anyway now, so it's a reboot that happened and doesn't exist anymore. So we're waiting for a reboot of that one. But yeah, I really like that. There's nothing much to talk about. You can get it on Xbox and PC, I think, nowadays, or if you can.
Yeah, I've got it on Steam.
It's really it still holds up. It's fast paced, 60 frames per second for you people that like that kind of thing. And yeah, it's good. Patrick Stewart he basically narrates the beginning of every level, and because of the loading times back then on the PS3 360 era, about a minute and a half, and he absolutely chews the scenery on those loading screens.
Oh, why?
Really well. So just give that a little go if you fancy it. And
press X to make it go.
Basically, yeah.
The first game was very good. Much as I'm ribbing you, I actually did really enjoy it.
It's long as well, isn't it? It's quite a lengthy game.
16 hours long, something like that. It's a lot longer than your average Castlevania game.
Yeah, it is.
the thing is, it was my introduction to Castlevania.
Really?
So I didn't, because I never had a Nintendo growing up or anything like that. And
oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, and I didn't get Symphony of the Night for PlayStation until
the remake, the remasters.
Yeah. So yeah, I never really encountered Castlevania. So when I played that, I thought, this is all right, knockabout, big bosses. I like it. I've played through it a couple of times. I've since been back to it on Steam, and it hasn't aged well.
I think it has. I played it last year.
I thought it was very mechanically clunky, but I still enjoyed the presentation of it, and enjoyed Robert Carlyle and Patrick Stewart chewing the scenery.
Absolutely.
So much chewing.
When they're talking to each other and they're actually... Because the cutscenes are quite long, aren't they? And they're arguing about whether to bring...
That's the Kojima influence.
Yeah, they're arguing whether... Is it ethical to re-raise the dead to fight for you as an army? Like, obviously, it's ethically the wrong
posing
decision.
The real questions that we're all asking.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask Lord of the Rings.
But this is what they're arguing about, the pros and cons of reanimating corpses, and it's like, this is really fucking verbose stuff, but it works. I like it. Something I don't like, though.
Oh.
Imagine the cast. Liam Neeson, Emma Thompson, Rafe Spall, Kumail Nanjiani, Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson. It's got to be good, hasn't it? It's got to be good. That is a stellar cast. Unfortunately, in 2019, a film came out called Men in Black International.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, it scored a 38 on Metacritic. I don't do well on Tomatoes. It's probably scored terrible on Rotten Tomatoes as well.
I'm sure it has.
Wow, it's the original Men in Black is one of my favourites. I love Men in Black. I think it's brilliant. Not that keen on the sequels, but this just fucking pisses on everything. It's so bad. Have you all seen it?
No, when I
never bothered in the end.
The trailer of it, I was like, oh dear.
How'd you fuck it up? Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson work well together.
Yeah, I literally
We've seen them.
I watched Thor Ragnarok last night.
Yeah, they're amazing
and they
together.
have such good chemistry together. So when they got cast in this film together, it's like,
that was big news, wasn't it?
It's basically doing Thor's accent again as well. It's, oh my God. You've got Emma Thompson and Liam
Rotten
Neeson.
Tomatoes score?
Yeah, go.
Rotten Tomatoes score 23%. Certified rotten.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
That's approaching Uwe Boll levels.
I can't even, like the plot is the same usual thing. Aliens are going to destroy Earth, but Men in Black are in London this time, guys, and we're going to take the piss out of the British. Oh, we like biscuits and tea.
I hate that trope in films. It's just like, what can we do? Oh, let's just move it to another country.
Yeah.
And take the piss out of that country. I'm like, yeah, great.
They absolutely take the piss out of it. Oh my God, like Rafe Spall's in it, and because obviously he's a very well-spoken Englishman, people are like, you're the baddie, aren't you, because you're a well-spoken Englishman, and that kind of stuff, and it's so fucking shite. Like, it makes me so angry. Like, they've got such amazing backdrops, like there's a scene on the Eiffel Tower, you've got London, for fuck's sake. Such iconic landmarks, and they fuck it up. The Eiffel Tower is a spaceship, did you know?
Apparently.
Yeah. Or a transportation device to another realm or something fucking stupid. Oh my God. And the London Underground was designed by the Men in Black, so they could get about quicker and all sorts of shite. And black cabbies, they're all aliens, you know what I mean? That kind of...
I mean, I've been in black cabs, I can believe that one entirely.
and the enemies, get this, the main baddies are the Ghost twins from Matrix Reloaded.
Oh, it's nice to see them getting work.
But it's not the actors, they've just copied them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
it's just copied them.
Just a copy of those.
Yeah, basically.
Thought they get Brosnan or something to do that.
No, it's two identical,
I'd watch that, actually.
two identical CGI aliens, basically, that do what they do on the Matrix.
The thing is, what I don't get is the sheer arrogance and audacity to think that they can make a good Men in Black film, because the first film is amazing. It's an old-timer. It's an absolute classic. 2 and 3, though, oh my God, they're dog shit.
Even Tom Lee Jones, in an interview once, he went, there was a 2 and 3? He was in it! I don't even know.
The only good thing about 3 was was Josh Brolin's Tommy Lee Jones impression, because that was fucking spot on.
Yeah, that was good. That was really
great.
good.
But, the fact that they made international, they tried to reboot it after there not being any good Men in Black content since 1997.
Yeah.
That's kind of ripe then, isn't it? To let's reboot this and try and spark this.
It uses
franchise.
the same music. I think it's Danny Elfman. It uses that music, and you think, it kicks off the vibe. Like Tessa Thompson's really good when she's just being Tessa Thompson. She's an incredible actor. She's brilliant in Creed and everything.
Oh, she kicks ass.
She's one of my favourites, and she's good. And then everyone else around her, including Chris Hemsworth, which I love Chris Hemsworth, they're all shit. Liam Neeson, we know if Liam Neeson's not the starring role, he doesn't want to be there. So he's doing that Liam Neeson thing where I'm just getting paid. So he's doing that. It's just
he's not interested if he can't punch foreigners.
Yeah, exactly. He wants to be the lead man. He always does. And you can't blame him because he's good at that. But it's just... don't watch it.
Do you know what?
Is it just me, or is Chris Hemsworth one of those actors that needs a very good director?
No, because he's funny. He's a funny guy.
No, I know he's funny, but he excels when he's got a very good director prodding him in the right direction.
Do you know what he's doing in this? Do you know what he's trying to be James Bond, but not more Dalton.
Nobody wants to be Dalton. Dalton doesn't want to be Dalton.
Exactly. He's doing that he's a bit cheeky. He loves the ladies. He's very good looking. He's not that funny in this.
Do you know what's disappointing about this doing bad, though? Is that the rumours of this mixing with another rebooted franchise, funnily enough, 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, I've heard.
When they were going to potentially
There's a stinger at the end of this film that links to 21 Jump Street,
Yeah,
mate.
they were talking about, is there going to be a 23 Jump Street? And they were like, we don't know. And then there was an idea floating around that 23 Jump Street meets Men in Black.
Yep.
And that's the way they go with the next one. And it just sounded like something.
Did we not learn our lessons with the Flintstones meet the Jetsons back in the 50s?
No, I don't think they did.
I really liked the sound of it. I'd sound like the sound of the people from the 21 Jump Street.
Universes crossing over like that.
Them crossing over. But obviously I think this film just fallen on its ass.
It probably tanked as well.
Yeah.
2019.
I would just prefer another Jump Street film, to be honest.
Yeah, I like Jump Street
I
films.
think
They're
they're brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't watch this.
In terms of tanking, I just looked it up. So the budget was $110 million, and box office it took 253. So it's technically a success, just not a rip roaring one.
I can't imagine anyone coming out of that going, really like that.
Yeah, it's got that doubled your budget kind of thing, which a lot of big blockbusters need to qualify as a success.
It's the original Men in Black is so good. Everything about it, the style, everything. It's just, oh my God.
The thing is, the original Men in Black, if you like, and I've watched loads of behind the scenes stuff because I love the original Men in Black. It's one of those films that it went through a lot of development hell.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
and it's kind of an accident. It was as good as it was.
It was announced too early, weren't it? And they had to pull it back.
It was not. It was like the script was wrong. It was originally going to be a lot more violent, a lot darker, and it was a little bit like the original Star Wars. It was kind of saved in the edit.
Well, the comics were darker. The Dark Horse comics were a lot darker.
Yeah, like the whole tension of the last third of the film, where you've got like the two sets of aliens wanting to destroy the Earth, sending the warning and all that kind of thing. That was originally supposed to be like the start of a war.
Yeah.
And it was originally supposed to be aliens knocking the shit out of each other in space. And they had to pull it all back because it wasn't working. Like the show did an early cut of it. They recut it, based off test runs, they recut it just before submitting it to go out and made it what it was. So everything that's there is hodgepodged from other intended scenes. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I'd have to rewatch Men in Black 1.
Oh, mate, it's so
good.
It
for a long,
just the inception of him joining the Men in Black and going through the training, and the scene when he's doing that test and he drags the table and he's so fucking good. And he's got the piece of paper with a little snapped pencil. It's fucking good.
The concept of Men in Black's great, isn't it?
It's a good comic series, not the new ones. But the original.
No, the original is like 6-parter or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
really good. But yeah, sorry.
I can see them trying to reboot this again in several years' time.
I can.
Yeah.
But
I tell you what, it probably worked well as a series, actually.
Yeah.
You could do like a bit of an X-Files, like Monster of the Week kind of thing.
I could see that.
With a bit of comedy and, sort of...
Just not this cast again, because even though I do love Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson together, I think they need Taika Waititi to sort them out, really. It clearly shows that, doesn't it? But yeah, don't watch that. So we're going to quickly move on to what we do want to see, and we'll start with you, Gadget.
Okay, so speaking of films that kind of have an actor problem, what I want to reboot is a long-running series of films made by the mouse himself, Mr. Disney, that have grossed billions of dollars worldwide, but have become rather stale of late. And I think very ripe for a reboot of some description.
You're about the MCU?
The MCU. Thinking that. Get to
No, because these films have a specific actor and character problem in that they revolve around one, and I'm talking about Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that.
The first Pirates of the Caribbean film
was good.
fucking brilliant.
Lightning in a bottle,
like
wasn't it, that?
Yeah, it was lightning in a bottle. But as they went on, and I don't mind the second two, like they were all right. The third one got too much. Yeah, I
don't remember much.
I only thought they were 1 and 2. We had this conversation a few weeks back.
Yeah,
I didn't know there were any more.
Yeah, like if you take that first trilogy, it's fine. The first one is the best.
Okay.
The second two are all right, but they have some good moments. Then you get like On Stranger Tides and Dead Man Tell No Lies or whatever it's called. They are shit because they take away the kind of the B story from the films because you don't have Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom's characters in them.
Oh, I liked them in it as well.
Yeah, you have sort of like some of the other ancillary hangers-on characters go around, but it's all around Jack Sparrow. And the thing is, Jack Sparrow was never really that good a character. But he had great lines in the first film.
Yeah.
And that's why they kind of brought him back. As a character, his motivations are shit, quite frankly.
Rum.
Sort of, yeah. But because the way Johnny Depp played him, and because of the kind of the one-liners that he had, he kind of imprints on a lot of people. And fair enough. The thing is, the idea of these big, gallivanting, action-packed, swashbuckling pirate tales, that universe has already set up how much of a fantasy world it actually is. Like, it's nowhere near grounded in reality. This isn't Master and Commander we're watching.
There's a squid man, isn't there?
There's monsters. There's fucking alternate dimensions that go off the edge of the world at one point. You know, like yeah, in the third one, yeah.
Fuck, so it's a flat Earth world.
It's a flat Earth world where they go to the other side to rescue Jack Sparrow from being dead.
Oh fuck me, no way.
Yeah, and in that universe, death is a desert.
Oh, of course.
With crab creatures.
There's no sea, is there, in the desert? And pirates love sea.
Pirates love the sea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think if you I'd given this a little bit of thought. If you just take any given number of kind of ocean-going myths and legends, you could create either like a TV series or maybe another trilogy of films around it. But take it away from having this focus on Johnny Depp's character. Don't have him in it at all. Have this set
Fuck him off.
Have this set at kind of the end of the age of piracy.
Oh.
You know, a little bit like how Red Dead Redemption had at the end of the Old West, and kind of as law was coming to the Wild West.
You mean like the British Empire stamping out piracy and stuff? Sort
of, yeah, but like more like the way that kind of piracy. There is an element of piracy kind of petered out because
naturally.
I just use a VPN now.
Yeah, exactly. Like
shipfaring piracy just didn't exist.
Seafaring piracy kind of petered itself out because just things got better for a lot of people and worse for some others, and then the East India
Cowboys started coming in.
Yeah, East India Company fell to bits, and you know it all went like that. But I was thinking, so you could have a film or several films or a TV series set around this, directed by Sam Raimi.
Oh, okay.
If you take because Sam Raimi can do the drama.
He knows how to spin a camera around as well.
He can do the action. He can do the special effects. He can get Tobey Maguire to dance.
No. I'm out.
But only if Bruce Campbell is in there somewhere.
Oh, Bruce Campbell will be in there somewhere.
Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire as Jack Sparrow.
No. You can't have Bruce Campbell in a film and cover that glorious chin with a beard.
Oh, that's
what
true.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's true.
That man's career is in his chin.
That's what they
and that
do,
car
though.
needs to make an appearance.
Cover him in CGI, wouldn't they?
Yeah. But yeah. So I think that would be a better idea, because if you took Jack Sparrow out of Pirates of the Caribbean and just let the world tell its own stories around a new set of characters,
I'm into it, mate.
I think it would be a much better thing than, like, if you watch the last 2 Pirates films, good God, they're bad.
I've not watched
Are
5.
they?
Not bothered watching it.
Oh, it's
Why didn't they
dreadful.
ever? I mean, they might have done. Why didn't they ever do stuff like would they go to like Chinese pirates and
They
Middle
did.
Eastern pirates? Oh, did they?
Yeah, the one
Oh,
with
shit.
Cherry on Fat, World's End or something.
Really?
Just,
Yeah.
I fell asleep
carry on.
watching that. I don't really remember what
Oh,
happened.
you'd expected it to be brilliant because there's a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I can reveal to you now, Gadget,
Mhm.
live here on the Modern Escapism. It's
You're
already
my real father.
Ladies
Johnny
and
Depp's
gentlemen,
here.
Johnny Depp.
it's already in the works
Marvelous. Sam Raimi?
without Johnny Depp.
Yes! Victory! Where's my check?
So it's apparently at the moment it's starring Margot Robbie. That's all I know.
I mean, I'm into it. I like
Yeah.
Margot
Yeah,
Robbie.
I
She's
can-
fucking
yeah.
Oh,
brilliant.
it's
Someone
not got
else as well.
director.
There's another female
Yeah.
that there's no.
She's the only good thing in Suicide Squad.
It is. She's
No,
teaming
the
up
end
with.
cards are the
She's
only
teaming up
good
with the
thing in Suicide
writer, the writer of the Harley Quinn film, and I think she's going to write it with them. But
The Harley Quinn film wasn't terrible.
yeah, that's the only thing that there is at the moment that Jack Sparrow won't be in it, and it's going to be Margot Robbie at the moment.
I'm into it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm into that. So, yeah, give me that. I'm very happy for that.
Also, Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson are in it.
No!
Cool, excellent. I
Directed
like
by
that.
Zack Schneider.
No!
Excellent. So,
When do we get the Gore Verbinski cut? 1, 2, and 3. There's one singular work.
yeah, I'm going to say he did the original, didn't he?
He did the first 3.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought that's a really good joke, but then again, yeah, he did do it. Yeah, that's how my brain works. Stig, what have you got?
Picture the scene:
Oh, picturing it, baby.
the greatest TV show of all time,
Gladiators.
huge fan following,
Robot Wars.
Crystal Maze.
years and years of build up,
Tipping Point.
Adventure Game?
and then season 8 was an absolute piece of trash.
Oh,
Game
Game
of
of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm only joking, by the way. It's not Game of Thrones, but yeah, reboot Game
Lost.
of Can we reboot the end of it, Game of Thrones, please?
Just the end of it.
Just the end of
last
it,
2
yeah.
seasons.
No, that's not mine. Mine is, and I'd like to keep this franchise specific, not about the people who are involved in it, for obvious
Yeah.
reasons. It's Harry Potter. I think that
Ooh.
that world
So get away from the Fantastic
and
Beasts.
series, yeah, and other things. That world and series is perfect for a TV show. Having read the books recently, again, the last few years, and watched the films, you see how much is glaringly missing from the films,
Oh,
and how
really?
much is like changed, and how much is done that makes it, some of it not make sense, and some of it just changes characters completely. They aren't particularly bad. I find them quite average films. There's a couple in there that are really good, but
I like the third one.
the third one
I've
and the
never
last,
seen
the
a
third
Harry
one and the
Potter
last
film.
one are pretty much the only ones that I find really good. The rest are just kind of average or
Yeah.
terrible. And I just, in an age now where TV is just absolutely smashing things.
Crushing it, isn't
Yeah,
it? TV
the-
is where it's at.
You've got what have we got? 7 books, 7 series sorted there. Like,
Oh,
And
yeah, stretch it out.
yeah, so I don't know
Yeah.
how many, maybe 8, 10 episodes a series,
Yeah,
7
yeah.
years, bosh, done. And you can cover everything, then you don't miss anything
You won't even
out.
get to Hogwarts in first 2 episodes, mate. Perfect.
Yeah, you don't miss anything out, and it fills in so many of the blanks that the films left out, which they then had to either like retcon or rush in the last film.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just that really. I just think something like that and I think it will happen.
There's that many people that love that franchise,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
I think it's more like that, rather than kind of rebooting or remaking the films or adapting from the books. I think they'll start expanding the Wizarding world.
yeah, I think they're going to do
Like-
that as well. I think there's talk
Like
about doing that.
have stuff not specific, like, because obviously they've done that with the Fantastic Beasts films. But
Hmm.
I think what people will try to do is I think especially Warner Brothers, because they're devils for doing this anyway.
They love money.
They love money, but I think they'll try and wrestle some rights away from J.K. Rowling so they can create original stuff in that
Yeah, yeah,
universe.
Yeah,
Like, use the rules and the law that she established,
Yeah.
and that the films kind of tread upon, but you could tell stories because obviously the films and the books establish that there are wizarding schools around the world. There are so many more stories they could tell, or they could tell the origins of Hogwarts, or it's like all these different things they could tell.
Yeah, I get that, and I think that they will do stuff with that expanded universe. It's just from the point of someone who's read the books when they were younger, recently read them again, and rewatched the films. The difference between the books and the films just shows you how much time constraints that a film puts on a big novel and how it would work better in a TV series.
Yeah.
So that's why
Agreed,
I think
mate.
that, yes, you can touch on other things, but if I'm talking specifically reboot purpose here, that those films could be rebooted into TV shows and work better.
Those books did get to be a fair wedge by the end, like.
Yes.
I remember seeing people at college reading it, these big fucking tomes at the Necronomicon.
4 and 5 are massive, specifically 5, but 5 has
Like Thompson Local or Yellow Pages, weren't they?
5 has a lot of shit that you could probably cut out even in a TV show, to be honest, and it'd still work.
Fuck that. I'd rather read Lord of the Rings. Never mind. So, Biggie,
Killzone.
you are having a laugh.
No, I would. I really would. But I generally just very joking aside.
Let him do it.
I would love to see
The Hellgast rise
the
again.
Hellgast again in a game. Have a really good first person. Like Titanfall 2, kind of story driven.
Such a good game.
The multiplayer would be fine. I'm sure if they just followed what they did before, it'd be okay. But if they actually did a decent story behind it. But again, I also enjoyed Resistance. I thought that was a really good series.
I did. Yeah, I did, mate.
I think that could do with
especially the London one. I think that's the first one, isn't it?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a really good setting.
So did I, mate.
Really enjoyed those games. But on a serious note, the one I'd really like to see, and it's quite a simple idea, is basically thinking about the X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom.
Yes.
Beat 'em ups, but in the style of Street Fighter 4 or 5, just the aesthetics.
Not the Infinity War one they did.
No, because I just think
bad.
When you look at the quality of Street Fighter now, how good it looks, how good it is as a fighter, and I love the X-Men games. I thought they were superb in the arcades, and I just think if you brought that back, even if it was just an X-Men beat 'em up, or an X-Men versus Street Fighter, or a Marvel versus
Children of the Atom, that was a good one.
Yeah, I just think it would look amazing with that style. I just think it'd be such a good beat 'em up. And yeah, I would love to see that. That's it for me.
Can I also pitch as an honourable mention an X-Men versus Capcom versus Marvel film?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that would cost billions.
Have to be animated.
It would make billions.
Yeah,
it would, wouldn't it? It would.
No thought other than just the idea of it.
No.
But I just
I want to see
Wesker
fighting Hawkeye on the big screen.
What
so good.
actually scares me a little now with it all being under the House of Mouse.
Yes.
I just will they do a Star Wars Marvel crossover one day?
Guardians of the Star Wars Galaxy.
No.
No.
Do you think
No,
they
no,
a Christmas special?
They'll do it?
Oh.
Yeah, maybe a Christmas special. They might
They're
do
doing
it.
a Christmas special anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Guardians
Marvel and
Christmas
Star
special.
Wars holiday special. We're gonna have Life Day back.
Yeah,
Finally.
it won't put
Excellent.
it past me.
It's a good idea, that Biggie. It's a good idea. It doesn't really need much elaboration either because it just writes itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like they were some of the games of my past, them absolutely. So it's just more X-Men. Right. Mine. I thought long and hard about this. I've even give it a name and everything.
That'd be good.
It's called Blackadder, Hammer and Tickle.
Oh,
So we're all aware of Blackadder. So Edmund Blackadder runs a club called the Hammer and Tickle in Stalingrad.
Oh no!
He is leading a team of shit British double agents, secretly agreeing with the Soviet Union's false communism and living lavishly as a triple agent himself. Baldric is yet again his ward and manservant. Stephen Fry as the leader of MI5, constantly barging in disguised as a GRU colonel. You've got Hugh Laurie, plays a Russian double agent that can't hold his own piss and constantly slips into a Russian accent and British accent interchangeably. I think this fucking writes itself. Cold War, Blackadder.
Who would you? I thought you were going to have Stephen Fry going as Stalin there, just because of the mustache. The mustache from Blackadder goes forth.
Not quite. They're all going to be British double agents living behind the Iron Curtain type thing,
right?
And obviously Blackadder, being the twat that he is, kind of really enjoying himself. Even though
you would need someone to be a Stalin, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. You'd get somebody there.
Also, can you do a Blackadder without Lord Flashheart?
I know. This is what I was thinking about as well, because, that does make me... Because there's a few cast members from Blackadder that are sadly no longer with us. And I just found... I mean, some of it now is not really politically correct. Some of the stuff on Blackadder...
It wasn't politically correct then.
No, I suppose it weren't, were it? But I just think it'd be so good. And I haven't seen... even rumblings of Blackadder since that Sky One movie that they did. Remember that Blackadder back and forth?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
Where he had a fight with a T-Rex or something stupid.
Yeah, it was back when, like, it was about the same time that you had Red Dwarf 8 coming out and they started doing that kind of shit as well.
All I can remember from that one is them, I think, being sitting behind Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah,
that's all. Literally all I remember from that.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't seen Rowan Atkinson do much. He does Johnny English all the time now, and I'm not really into Johnny English that much. I don't dislike it.
I thought the way the Blackadder ended was so good anyway. Yeah. But now I've heard your idea.
Blackadder, hammer and tickle.
I like it. I think
what a pun! What a pun! So good.
Oh yeah, get it.
I'm into it.
You guys should be into it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get it proposed. I'm sure Rowan Atkinson's got now to do at the minute.
Friend of the show.
He'll be doing Johnny English 7. Anyway, that's our dream lineup and reboot. So we'll hand it over to the Postmaster General himself and see if anyone else has contacted us this week.
Well, some people have, and we're going to start with Best Boy Kurt Lewin.
Okay.
And he's saying, to be honest, I struggled to think of a reboot I really liked that was definitely a reboot. We had a lot of discussion over what was a reboot and what wasn't.
Mate, I've been racking my brain since we announced it. So I've been so confused.
Yeah. And then when you worked it out, you didn't shut up about it.
Yeah, we're like, ooh.
And your idea changed a million times.
Yeah.
Well, Kurt goes on to say, I like the new Doom and Wolfenstein games, but never played the originals to compare them to the new ones. I will say, especially the new Wolfenstein games, they're very good reboots.
Perfectly good reboots as well, yeah. And Doom 2016 was,
Yeah, I don't like the new Doom.
Yeah, but Eternal fucked it. So, my best effort is Casino Royale. It's my favourite Bond film by some distance and would class it as a reboot, as it was a grittier take on Bond with less focus on the gadgets and all the other usual Bond tropes. Yeah, no, I'll take that.
I agree with him.
Yeah.
I agree with him.
Casino Royale came at that point that it'd been quite a while since Pierce Brosnan had started phoning it in.
Yeah, raising his eyebrow.
Yeah, because Die Another Day was pretty poor.
Apart from the ice car chase, that was really good.
There was nothing
that
good
was
in that
awful.
film.
I love that.
Oh, it was a dreadful film.
Oh, well, I like it.
Didn't the Bourne Supremacy reboot Bond?
American
I kind of think it did, really, didn't it?
Yeah, they were playing catch up to Bourne.
I love those movies.
Yeah,
I love them so much.
Worst reboot, I would go with Tomb Raider and Angel of Darkness on the PS2.
Yes.
Despite having a character called Kurt, it was not enough to save it.
Do you know, I've got a story about Angel of Darkness. So remember Blockbusters, lest we forget. I had some credit at Blockbusters and I was waiting for Angel of Darkness so much because I think it was back in the time when magazines were corrupt and they were saying this is going to be the best fucking game ever.
Yeah.
So we're paid to say it was the best. And some of I think there's a big scandal about it as well. I think this opened a lot of people's eyes. They were saying, it's fantastic, really good. Controls are amazing. So, rushed, use my credit, Blockbusters, got Angel of Darkness, slapped it on. Fuck me. The controls on that. Just generally the controls, everything about it. And I was full on goth at that point. And Lara Croft was a full on goth in it. And I thought, this is me. This is it. But it was shite, and I tried to go back to Blockbusters, and they said, no, you spent credit on it, we can't refund your credit. So I had that fucking shite game for years.
See, that's
Never
I
finished
had
it.
Driver 3, that was the one that did me in.
Oh, Driver 3, shit.
I was so angry at that game.
that was another series where a reboot was just desperately needed.
Yeah.
I got it.
Tomb Raider. So
The three Tomb Raider trilogies that we've got now are incredible,
Yeah,
I think.
really
Those
good.
3 games.
Moving on to Steve Little, he says his favourites are Dread or the new Apes trilogy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did like Dread. Wish they'd make more of that.
Yep.
Least favourite, I've even forgotten about this one. The Tom Cruise Mummy film. I forgot this was a thing.
Me and Kate went to watch this once, and we both fell asleep in the first 10 minutes, and then just never bothered.
The film is shite, but the game based on the film, The Mummy Demastered,
Yeah, I've seen
is
that,
one of the best Metroidvanias in recent years. It's incredible.
What
Oh,
I'd
really?
like to,
Yeah.
What I'd like to see, downsizing. I thought the central idea was excellent, that there was probably a great film to be had, but they never got the tone right.
Downsizing.
They were trying to make a social issue film with something to say for the festival crowd, or a broader rom-com for the mainstream crowd. Probably too soon and or too forgettable to ever happen, though. So Downsizing was a film where I believe Matt Damon is shrunk. I mean, he's already little anyway.
Fuck, I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, he's shrunk and put into this kind of petri dish world.
Yeah, and he's now rich because he only had like 200 quid in real life. And
Yeah.
that money like equates to a lot more when you're shrunk. Oh, I remember that.
It was a good idea, but not that good a film, I don't recall.
No, it was
He
not
shaved
very
his
well.
hair off and
It
everything,
wasn't
didn't they,
well
and stuff?
executed at all. It's
Yeah.
basically like their way of saving the world.
Yeah.
Shrinking people, and like, because you use less resources.
Micro neighborhoods and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Jeff Snazel says Jumanji was a very good reboot, as is Dread and the Planet of the Apes trilogy. One of the worst has to be the 2019 Hellboy.
Yeah, what were they thinking?
Mate, I
there,
watched
man?
that and I forgot every single thing about
You
it.
know, I giggled throughout that entire film because it felt like watching a video game, but I don't recall it being that good.
Ron Perlman sold Hellboy so well.
Oh yeah,
He's so good in that.
I've said it on multiple Discords and I've got I've got like kicked out of Discords for this. I think Hellboy 2 is one of the best comic book films ever made.
Oh,
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I'm a big Hellboy fan and I like
Yeah,
Del Toro a
me
lot.
too.
And Hellboy
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
is fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
Totally agree.
the 2019 Hellboy just got the tone wrong. Like, I like the design of David Harbour's Hellboy. Like, he looked really
Yeah.
intimidating and really
Yeah.
cool. And I liked the voice and kind of a bit of the performance into it, but he just didn't sell being Hellboy.
Nope.
It was just Angry Red Man kind of thing. Jeff goes on to say, I'd like to see a Dark Tower reboot, as what we got was awful. Agreed.
I walked out of that one. I love the books.
Also,
refuse to watch it.
I did like World War Z as a standalone film, but as an adaptation of the terrific source material, it was terrible. So I'd like to see that one redone.
Such a good book as well.
Should really read that book.
Oh, it's so good.
Newton Thomas comes in saying, does 21 Jump Street count as a reboot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Fair enough.
Absolutely
Great,
does,
yeah.
great reboot.
Also,
One of the best.
JJ's Star Trek is one of my favourites.
The first,
I like
the first one, yeah.
the first one is a very good reboot, and then
Yeah.
Into Darkness was not a good sequel, though.
no, and Beyond. I've forgotten everything about Beyond.
Into Darkness is the one that's the Khan! That one,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it just holds no weight. It's like when it comes
Shite,
back,
innit?
he's just like, "No, my name is Carl Noonien Singh." He's just like, "What does that
I
matter
love-
in this universe? What does that matter to this Kirk? He's never met you before. You've never had
The
that
villains are
confrontation.
shite.
It doesn't hold any weight. The reveal it's pure fan service.
Yeah, it is. The thing is that he could have been Khan from the start,
Yeah,
and they could have built up that, because obviously the relationship between Kirk and Khan in the original series started in the TV series.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And it then reached its zenith in Star Trek II, which is an incredible film.
I love Eggs Benedict Cumberbatch, and he's terrible in that. He's fucking terrible in that.
He's not terrible in it, but he's just playing Sherlock with muscles.
He's not even
and
muscular,
then
though, is he?
and his
No, he is.
magic
He's
blood.
pretty jacking it. Yeah. But he is just doing the Sherlock performance of being kind of very
Suppose.
rigid and robotic.
Staring
and
behind
sarky.
people.
Yeah. And which is kind of what he was known for at the time anyway.
I suppose.
But yeah, the reveal of him being Khan has no impact other than for the fans. And it's
Yeah, should've
telegraphed
gone,
so
"Who?"
far in advance as well.
Everyone guessed it before the film even came out.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first one, so the kind of that origin story, the 2009 one, I thought that was fucking
Didn't
brilliant.
they do a third one? I've not seen that.
Yeah.
They did
Beyond.
Beyond, which
What's
I
that
liked. It's not bad. It's got a very different tone because Simon Pegg wrote it. So
right.
it's
I'll
got a
give him
slightly
chance,
cheeky
then.
tone to it. But it does that thing that odd-numbered Star Trek films do where it tries to get a bit preachy and a bit philosophical. And there's not as much action. However, there's some really brilliant visuals in it. And there
So
are some
after
really good ones. But
Into Darkness, they went into space. So is it in space, this one, like further on? Like
No, they crash on a planet.
Oh, for
It's mostly it does that in Star Trek Insurrection thing where they're on a planet. For most of it.
yeah.
But also because Simon Pegg wrote it, Scotty has a very big part in it.
Of course it does. Wants more money.
Last one, Dominic Skelton says definitely Jumanji. That could be almost be the textbook example of rebooting done right. Yeah, I would agree with that one. I do like the two Jumanji. The two new Jumanji
really good.
I like The Rock as an actor. I really do.
I refuse to see the Welcome to the Jungle. No, sorry, the first Jumanji. Welcome to the Jungle was the first reboot. Something like that. I refuse to say it on the basis that I love the original Jumanji so much, and I thought, no, they're going to fuck this up. And what I never appreciated was that, no, they made a different film.
Oh, yeah.
It was really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like when I finally did sit down and watch it, it was just like, oh, this is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I went to see the Empire podcast. I went to see him live. I asked a question, a Q&A at the end, and I was like, what's a good example of something that sounded like a terrible idea when you heard about it, but actually turned out really well? And Jumanji was the one that got brought up.
Yeah.
Because it is a perfect idea. It's like, what the fuck? What are they going to do with Jumanji again? It's like, we're going to take it into the game.
Yeah.
We're going to play around
I thought
with
they'd
that.
have said something like Mark Wahlberg's Italian Job.
No, I was talking about something that turned out good.
Well, the thing is, that whole concept of going to the game, that was there was a cartoon in the 90s.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they went into the game, and I used to enjoy that.
Yeah.
And so when they said, they're going to go into the game, but it's a video game this time, I'm like, oh no, they're going to make it taking the piss out of video games as well.
They did a space Jumanji, didn't they? Zafura, yeah.
Yeah.
I never seen that.
It's all right.
I really like the two Jumanji films. And he finished off with saying, and if it falls into your category, the 2000s Battlestar Galactica 2. Yes, we
absolutely
fully agree
can.
on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But that's everything we have this week in the mailbox.
Thank you, everybody. Now you can get rid of those letters, chuck them in the fire. Right then, so we'll go to the socials with our social correspondent, Stig.
Thank you very much. Yes, if you want to find us on our socials, you can find us on Twitter at Modern Escapism, and on there you'll find a link to all of our episodes, our other socials, and our Discord. If you have any comments, you can either tweet us there or you can email us at modernescapismpod@gmail.com. We have an announcement this week that on Monday the 29th of March...
I'm leaving.
No, you're not. Sit down.
On Monday the 29th of March, we are guesting on the Monday Nightmare on Deal Radio. So this is a show hosted by friend of the show and enemy of Oodles, our community member Monk's Boy, and he invited us on for a chat, and we all got to pick a song each for the show. So you can listen to that at 9 p.m. at dealradio.co.uk.
It's basically the end of my career.
Yeah. Come and listen to a whole show of Oodles Easter eggs.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's going to be a good laugh. So tune in at 9 p.m. on Monday. And if you like to watch gaming streams, you can come and watch us at twitch.tv Modern Escapism when we're on.
Hey, I managed to stream this week.
Yes. Last few weeks have been on and off for us all. Things get in the way. So family and feeling like shit and whatnot. So life. So we stream when we can. We try to stream on Saturdays, Mondays and Wednesdays. So we won't be streaming this Monday because of the Deal Radio. But Saturdays, if Oodles is around, it'll be continuing with BioShock. Wednesdays we're not on this week to do our Dead Space 3 run because...
This comes out after we're not on for Dead Space.
Timey-wimey.
Do you know what? Keep that in, Gadget, because I'm an idiot. This Wednesday we will be on Dead Space 3.
It'll be a fresh week.
Because it comes out after we've done our Justice League special. So,
which you all loved.
Yeah. So that hasn't come out yet because that comes out after this.
I don't know how time works.
Okay, Oodles. This comes out on Thursday.
Okay.
The Justice League pod we recorded, as the listeners will hear it, yesterday. We're recording it on Wednesday coming, and I'm editing that on the day this comes out. So the Justice League pod comes out the day after on the Friday.
This is like the Flashpoint paradox.
Yeah.
You lost it when you went Oodles.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I don't know how
I don't know why I explain things to him. I just tell him what to say.
You're telling me.
Our
You're
socials
telling me right
just-
now this isn't Thursday.
Yeah.
No.
Our socials has
shit.
just
Or is it?
gone to chaos there. So yeah, we will be back on Wednesday then for a Dead Space 3. So join us as we continue that. And as ever, leave us 5-star reviews, because clearly from that bit of socials there, you can tell how
Professional
we are worth 5 stars.
And if you don't leave us a 5-star review, Oodles will reboot you.
Yes.
Yes, I've been known to reboot extremely hard.
You should see his Rotten Tomatoes score. It's dreadful.
You should speak to his
69, actually.
Cs?
My favourite number. Anyway, thank you very much, gentlemen, for this. It's been a pleasure. Once I got my head wrapped round the concept, I think it went rather nice. Next episode, I'll be discussing time and how time works. No,
A not-so-brief history of time with Oodles trying to wrap his head around it.
Imagine that. I'm going to write a novel about how I think the world works.
You look at the hands on the Mickey Mouse clock, Oodles.
That is genuinely my my watch's face as well. You think I'm kidding? Right, so after all that, guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for sticking around, and hopefully we won't be rebooted, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Reboots. Can lightning really strike twice?
Start again. I didn't want him to pick up that fart that I just did.
You could catch it, could edit that out.
I don't know. I didn't know.
Hey, guys, I wonder what will be our Easter egg at the end of this.
It could just be a collection. Catch it. Now here's a minute of Oodles Easter eggs.
I'm sorry.
Enjoy.
You might have not even heard it. I don't know how quiet
You
it
could do
was.
like it's an All Right on the Night special.
I don't know
with
how
just all
quiet
the
it was because I've got
massive
these on.
Eagles.
But it just crept up my back.
Rolled up.
Yeah, it came out my neck. Just put me off. It made me jump.